find your zone every day.
What is up, you guys? It is Dollar Cost Crypto here with Fake Business, man. What is up, you guys? Woo! Crypto Mindset Q2 goes live basically in like 2 days, man. Can you share the screen for 1 second? Boom. April 21st, it goes live, you guys. This Friday, we go live. We're going to be on Fresh and Fit. We're going to be on a bunch of channels this time, but definitely leave your best email address you can right here, man, because this thing is going live real soon, you guys. This is it, man. A minute to midnight. We're here. Or I should say 2 minutes to midnight. We're here, you guys. This is going to be a crazy course. We're seriously going to take some nice profits, going to make good money on some coins and stuff. There's brand new coins that I've just started barely investing myself into as well and stuff, and just all types of things that we're kind of looking in the market at and stuff like that. So leave your best email address here and stuff. And yeah, man, thank you so much. Boom. But what is going on, you guys? I mean, lots of shit happened today. Woo! That hoodie is fire, son. Thank you, sir, man. Yes, it is, man. Peaches. I got the boo right here, man. There you go. But for people who've been asking me for a while now, look at that. I finally brought it in, man. The line ring is here. Oh, there we go. We got the line ring live in studio aligned with the Red Pill Lines cologne. Yeah, shout out to the boys at the Red Pill Lines, man. They got the lion frame. There you go, the lion frame cologne, man. Let's see how this smells like. It's pretty masculine. I would say it smells like a forest aftershave. Pretty cool, man. Shout out to Rocky and the guys, man. Thanks for the lion frame, bro. That's pretty cool. But Hex is down to 6 cents. Oh no, the markets are over. Everyone's crying. Zen is pumping. What are we going to do? Fake business is what we're going to do. So today I'll be reacting to one of my favorite streams. I've watched this thing so many times. I love it. It just makes me laugh all the time. Dillon is like one of my favorite comedians. And he has a really interesting sort of history where Dillon basically started as a real estate broker back in the day. And he's a comedian, so he makes all types of jokes about it, but he actually is pretty financial literate and a lot of stuff, and he knows crypto a little bit. So the kind of tangents they go off on crypto and real estate and the last bull market is incredible. This video is about a year old, but damn, it's good. Like, damn, it's good and stuff. So without further ado, man, full screen me and let's go, man. Welcome to Fake Business with Tim Dillon.
My dad's really good friends with Steve Jordan. We used to go there a lot. I like a place called South Shore Fish, which is another fish spot in Island Park.
You could eat there?
Yeah. Okay. South Shore Fish it's called Artie's. That's like the best.
Are you a pescatarian?
No.
You look like one.
Pescatarian. Yeah, I'm a pescatarian. I do eat a lot of fish, though. The majority of what I eat, I think I eat a lot of fish.
I think Island Park is like 3 square blocks.
Small.
It's like tiny.
Small.
I listened to the conference call for Facebook, and this analyst, he's a good guy. This guy,
they're getting beaten up.
Oh. So these two guys right here, they run a show called The Compound and stuff, Compound and Friends, cool dudes and stuff like that. They're starting to warm up to crypto. Obviously, this is about a year ago, so we're talking about the market's starting to head down a little bit. Now, the market's still not over, but it's like it's getting close. It's getting close there and stuff like that. And is a pretty interesting sort of thing that's going on right now. Let me take care of one little thing real quick. Bam, we close Telegram. There we go. Screw those guys. Anyway, my X alerts. But these guys have been in the equities market for a long time and stuff like that. And the guy in the white here, interestingly enough, he actually came up right around the time of Oak Stratmont and stuff. For you guys who saw The Wolf of Wall Street, he was working with a lot of the guys who used to work for Jordan Belfort. So shout out to all my Staten Island boys and stuff like that. So yeah, man, full screen me and let's go. Oh, dude, I love it. There's a Thanos. There's a Thanos figurine on the table.
Dude, this guy Mark Mahaney comes on the part on the conference call where the analysts are like allowed to ask questions.
Right.
So he goes, "This is in the midst of the stock down 25%, like in free fall." His question is, "What kind of progress are you guys making on ESG? Like, how many women do you have on your board or whatever?" And I start hysterically laughing on the train. This is a company that's literally overturning governments.
Right.
But socially, they're doing it sustainably. They're doing
They're sustainably fomenting coups. And like you think about like all of the things that they're trying to do.
Right.
Which is get you addicted to this dopamine hit.
Yeah.
And just keep plugging into it.
This dystopian nightmare they're ushering in.
But are you ESG?
Are you ESG? Yeah. That's what it comes.
And this what ends up happening with large corporations is that instead of just hiring based off of merit and stuff like that and like who's best for the job, they're like, they have quotas. We need a certain amount of women or we need a certain amount of diversity and stuff like that. It's a bit much sometimes. But instead of asking them the real questions, like why are you overturning countries and stuff like that? Why are you doing this or this or this? Like, no, we need to know that there's a certain amount of people on the board. Like how many trans people work at the company? So this is the important thing. Hello.
Comes down to, are you ESG? So you guys have a wealth management company.
Yeah.
And you deal with clients.
Yeah.
Would it be considered like a hedge fund or is it not really a hedge fund?
No. We're doing the opposite. We're like financial planning first, which is basically helping people figure out what they want to do with their money.
Yeah.
When, what are the tax ramifications, how much they want to leave.
I met with a dude at Goldman a friend, she's like a sort of comedian. You know her, Haley Sachs.
Oh, not at Goldman.
Mrs. Dow Jones.
Yeah.
She's not.
Right.
But her dad is.
Okay, yeah.
Her dad's like a big wealth management guy at Goldman.
I love Haley.
So I just want to stop this for 1 second. So look at this right now already. Like if you actually listen to a lot of comedians, they're pretty bad with money. And they don't know anything about investments and stuff. And this guy's already talking in a just off of that already, you could tell he actually is pretty financially illiterate, all jokes aside and stuff like that. But I think comedians sometimes can really understand sort of like the meme culture and stuff. I think a lot of people, when they come into crypto, they have they don't get it, right? And one thing that I feel like these guys get is that a lot of the times the reason people are in something is because they're just trying to get rich. Not that like they like the underlying technology and all this other stuff. So it's interesting to get the perspective. And on top of that, these guys have seen the real scammy side of both real estate, stocks and everything, hedge funds, and see what's really going on.
We had a breakfast at the Mark and he was talking to me about, and I make a real good amount of money, but I think like those guys, like to them, it's like, he's like, usually it's like 10 million to just kind of get in. I'm like, oh no, this is not.
They're doing like sovereign wealth.
Yeah, I was like, I appreciate it. And thanks for the eggs Benedict, but I'm like, we're not there.
Dude, so what's funny about Haley Sachs's dad?
Yeah.
Working at Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
The names are spelled differently.
But it's hilarious.
But
it didn't hurt him.
But it doesn't, I don't know his name.
Right.
Haley, if you're listening, I love you. Let's say it's Henry Sachs of Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a nice guy, but.
Yeah. So basically wealth management is like making sure that people are invested in such a way that it actually correlates to the life they want to live.
Right.
Versus a hedge fund is like, the S&P is going to go up 10%. I'm going to try to do 15.
Gotcha.
Right, and that's a really interesting distinction and stuff like that. Is like, yeah, like the wealth, like kind of these sovereign wealth funds or sort of like these. There's more like lifestyle investment and sort of making sure that you upkeep or you're trying to build yourself to a certain lifestyle versus like we're trying to swing for the fucking fences with most hedge funds and stuff like that. And I think that like most hedge funds are built like that, but there is some hedge funds where they're kind of a hybrid in between and stuff like that. But it is interesting to hear the distinction of that.
Regular people,
or it's going to go down 10, and we're going to try and be down 9.
We're going to or we're going to try to make money on the way down and the way up, which doesn't really work. But that's the hedge fund. That's the hedge fund biz.
Because shorting's retarded. Let me tell you this right now. Shorting is really dumb. Most people can't do it right, and like most people who say that they're making a ton of money and stuff are not really like making. They have to put up a ton of money to do so. Like to make a million. Like there's a couple of guys recently that talked about shorting and stuff. I think it's like you can make money and stuff like that, but it takes a dramatic move. It's more likely to make you profit probably in crypto than in equities, because in equities you have to use a lot of leverage in order to really make some substantial money. But I mean, you have to put up $1 million, no leverage, and then it goes down 50%, and then you actually make some money and stuff. But then, like, these things scam pump back up or something, and then you can lose money and stuff, and you can give up profit. So it's a huge clusterfuck, man. If you're gonna do anything, I'd rather long than short, but stay away from that.
We're more like regular people. What are they actually trying to pay for in the future?
Right.
How much will it cost them?
So your thing is like, it's like if you don't have any balls.
Yeah,
get in.
Basically,
if you just have no.
Well, so that depends on the client.
I like gambling.
Yeah,
I like a good gamble.
Well, I did that for 10 years. I did.
Okay.
You and I was telling
some people say I do it currently.
Somebody here. You and I have a very similar origin. I'm a little bit older than you, but I started in the Long Island brokerage firms.
Wow,
which was catering to gamblers. Basically,
that's right.
You would cold call business owners
all day.
You would make 500 phone calls. 50 people would.
Now, I need you guys to hear this right now. This
speak to you.
This is really important right here. What they're talking about of how they funnel people in and how like the game used to be different and stuff. It's pretty insane. Like the amount of calls, like you've seen in all the Wall Street movies, like they're calling people after people. I mean, it's like 500 phone calls and stuff, but they funnel you into, and then basically like they end up hitting people that are doing really well in Middle America. And these guys are just like, wow, these big Wall Street guys are hitting me up and stuff. I definitely have to do it and stuff. So, and this is even, it's shocking actually and stuff. So definitely, man. Shout out to CryptoCon, man. What is this? $20 super chat. Just wanted to confess my sins to Hex Jesus. I had a 6-month winter here in, I don't know where, affected my work, which has affected me buying Hex. Thanks to you clearing the skies and helping me buy Hex again, washing my sins away. Thank God.
That is Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City. There you go. Padre, Hijo, Espíritu Santo, Amen. And then may you live peacefully with the Mormons. Sheesh.
And of those 50, 10 of them would actually let you speak. 5 of them would be qualified of those owners, which was catering to gamblers, basically.
That's right.
You would cold call business owners
all day.
You would make 500 phone calls. 50 people would speak to you. And of those 50, 10 of them would actually let you speak. 5 of them would be qualified to actually invest with you.
So 500 people, they call 500 people, 50 would talk to them. 10 would be more or less like possibly like they're interested. And then 5 of them would actually be qualified to actually use. So like we're talking about like 1% or even less. Dang.
But they weren't really looking for investments. They were looking for what's the next stock that's going to go up, 50%.
Did you start when like Stratton Oakmont was the thing?
Right after all of that.
Wow, okay.
So I worked for guys that worked there.
Okay.
But they were trying to clean up their act. But the thing is, the business is just not that good of a business if you're doing it the right way, which only took me, I'm smart,
Right.
so it only took me 10 years to figure that out.
Cold calling business owners is tough.
Well, now you can't do it. But
Yeah.
back then, people were excited to hear from
Now
brokers.
you can't do it at all.
Who answers the phone?
Right.
Was
That's a good point.
When was the last time your phone rang, you didn't know the number, and you were like,
Well,
oh,
before TD Ameritrade,
I always answer because I like to have fun, but
before TD Ameritrade, like that's how people bought stocks.
That's right.
They
they
were sold.
Picture this. Like, I started when I was in college. I started working for a guy who I think he was making $100,000 a month. His job before this was a bouncer.
Dude, $100,000 a month, even today, is incredible money. Like, it's insane cash. So this guy went from a bouncer to making $100,000 a month, and damn, dude, you know how much money bro? That's like 80s money too. Like that's like making like $700,000, $1 million a month today. Jesus Christ, man.
right.
Okay? So my dad plays golf with his dad. I don't know what to do with my summer after freshman year. So he's like, go work for this guy's son. He's making fucking 6 figures a month. So the assumption is like, all right, so this has to be legit, right? How could you make that much money? And they're
Right.
all wearing suits, like
Right.
dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
And the office is on 3rd Avenue, like top floor, and everything looks like you would picture Goldman Sachs would look.
Right.
But the difference is, well, a lot of differences. But so they say, all right, here's a stack of business owners on index cards. Spend the whole day calling them. Find somebody that wants to talk to me. So you know what? So
Yeah.
So you do that, and then this guy calls that person back the next day.
Now, I want to make a little distinction right here. It says like there's differences between Goldman Sachs and these guys, right? I don't know about all that, Chief. Right? But here's the thing: at the entry, the whole business is based off of gambling in terms of like these Oakmont sort of like basically businesses, right? These runoffs of like Wolf of Wall Street runoffs, right? But then you actually have the other side, which is Goldman Sachs, and they actually have like a wealth building department. So you have more of like what you would think like safe investments and stuff like that. But then at the highest levels, they're gambling. So basically, what it really is like the other businesses doesn't really have like the normie side of the business, and then they only have like the degen side. And then that's where they're shitting on them. But if you actually look at the top of Goldman, they're also doing very degenerate things as well and stuff at the top end of the business as well and stuff. So basically the guys trying to get rich, doing degenerate shit, guys at the top doing degenerate shit, trying to get even richer, and then people in the middle there, just maintaining wealth and growing it slowly and stuff. So it's almost like the bell curve. You got the dumb guys trying to get rich, you got the rich guys trying to get richer on the other side of the bell curve, and you got the guys in the middle just basically trying to maintain and just slowly grow it.
Day, and that person's excited because it's a guy that owns like an industrial facility in Indiana.
Right.
Somebody from Wall Street is calling.
Right.
It's exciting.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. And now obviously it sounds ridiculous in today's context, but that was a business.
When I started mortgages, the guy
And that's not that ridiculous, actually. So because some of these, especially if they're working in commodities and stuff, like if they're like, wow, these Wall Street guys, like sometimes like these commodity players, the way they end up really protecting themselves from volatility and stuff, they end up are playing the market against their own commodity. So like just in case they make a big order and stuff, they have shorts up just in case the market takes a shit, and they protect their ass and stuff, and they basically have the money to keep funding their business and stuff. So these high level commodity players and stuff like that in the industrials, they are playing the market at the high level and stuff. And this is where some of the money for commodities is really coming from, is like it's hedging. It's a lot of hedging. Like McDonald's hedges their potato prices. It's insane. like literally every major business that has to do with like when they're buying billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars of commodities and stuff, they are hedging themselves. Fake businesses, you guys. Fake business. Tim Dillon
is calling.
Right.
It's exciting.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. And now obviously it sounds ridiculous in today's context, but that was a business.
When I started mortgages, the guy that owned the company brought me in his office, and he goes, listen, he was 24. He was probably making $100,000 a month. And he said, I was an ecstasy dealer. My lawyer told me I can't get you out of this if you get caught again.
Okay.
He goes, you got to do something else. So he goes, I do this now. And that was the beginning of my career.
Right.
And I was just like sitting there. It was like a motivational speech, a la Gary Vee or whatever. And he goes, I knew that I couldn't sell ecstasy anymore because I would go to jail for a very long time.
Yeah.
So now I sell mortgages.
There was a place right by the
That's a lateral move right there, man. You know, I just can't sell drugs anymore. So instead, I'm going to swindle people into bad mortgages. You guys, this is the way. This is the way. I love Tim. Tim Dillon is so good at ripping into Gary Vee. I love Gary Vee too, but damn, he's so good at like rugging it, bro. It's hilarious.
Beginning of my career.
Right.
And I was just like sitting there. It was like a motivational speech, a la Gary Vee or whatever. And he goes, I knew that I couldn't sell ecstasy anymore because I would go to jail for a very long time.
Yeah.
So now I sell mortgages.
There was a place right by the Atlantic Beach Bridge. There was a parking lot where there was mortgage brokers, and there was a bunch of idiots driving Porsches in like 2005.
That was every parking lot in Long Island. Yeah.
So it's so funny that you say that. Long Island has this same archetype, like this young man in his 20s.
Fit, like us.
Lightly educated.
Lightly educated is a great term.
Lightly educated, meaning like maybe a little bit of Nassau community.
Little college.
Little bit, but not
In
too
and
much.
out.
Not too much. And then what happens is their older brother or the guy down the street or the person that their dad plays golf with, their son, whatever, brings them into like, hey, what are you doing right now? Oh, I'm just bartending. I don't really know yet.
Right.
Tell you what, put on a suit, come interview. So in the 90s, that's stock brokerage. That's the shit that I learned.
That's right.
After the dot-com bubble blew up in 2000, interest rates went to 1%, wherever they dropped them to, and all of a sudden there's a mortgage boom. That same young man, his younger brother
is a mortgage
goes
broker.
to the same office building in Woodbury or the Jericho Quadrangle or whatever.
The Huntington Quadrangle.
Huntington. All right, goes to the same building. The brokers' cars are all gone, but it's all mortgage brokers' cars, same cars. It's Porsches.
Yep.
The same aggressive Long Island attitude, tactics, call the whole country. What do you mean we only talk to people a mile away?
Right.
I'm doing mortgages in Hawaii. Fuck you.
Right.
That whole thing, the mortgage bubble blows up, bursts. 2007, 8, you have a financial crisis. In the wake of that, what does everyone need? Small business loans. It's the same person.
So what he's saying right there is that these grifters, all they do is just rotate to the next scam. So they went from Oaten Strackmont selling you like these scratcher ticket like micro cap stocks and stuff, and then as soon as like the 2000 tech bubble exploded, right? Boom. They went off and they all migrated into basically selling subprime mortgages and basically bad mortgages, basically, and adjustable rate mortgages. It's really mostly adjustable rate mortgages and some subprime, but the subprime was what blew up, but legitimately was mostly adjustable rate mortgages, which I fucking warn you guys about. Like, always get doesn't matter 15, 20, 30 year, 40 year, 40 years is a little ridiculous, but 40-year fixed mortgage, but just make sure it's fixed so you know if you can handle that payment, you're not in trouble and stuff like that. This is where people always get into trouble, is this adjustable rate mortgage shit, dude. I'm telling you. And it's going to be 0% forever, and now we're at 4.75 and we're heading to 5.5% in the next 3 months. Oof, bros. Oof, there's more pain coming in the real estate market. But then you notice at the tail end right there, he said, and then they go up to small business loans. What happened during the shutdowns? Small business loans. So we had, like, remember what I was teaching you guys beforehand with the Fed printing all this money? Like, all this inflation, it's because everybody got $1,200 in stimulus checks, and that's not really what caused the inflation. What caused the inflation was all the small businesses getting these fucking bullshit loans. There's so many businesses got a couple $100,000 for nothing and basically didn't have to pay it back. But then there was a secondary loans they gave out where you did have to pay back, and people took out millions. This is where all the money came in to gamble in the stock market and crypto and all these equities, those small business loans. Even the Lakers were taking out $12 million in loans, and then everyone's like, whoa, Lakers. Dude, this is for small businesses. Oh, yeah, you're right. And they gave the money back. Even the fucking Lakers were taking money. They just gave it back because they got caught last second and stuff like that. So you see? Tech stock grift, real estate grift, PPPV, or whatever the fuck they're called. Grift. If these guys start selling crypto, bros, we out, bros. Like, all right, you guys, this is the last cycle, you guys. This is gonna be a hot one, you guys. Hot boy summer, man. Hot boy crypto summer. But it's insane. So it's like it's these Staten Island boys are the ones fucking up the world. So I'm gonna play that back just to hear that explanation. But that was incredible because like I think few people understand because these guys just migrate to the next grift and then they're just it's like instead of selling real estate in your local area, we're selling real estate in Hawaii.
Cars, same cars, it's Porsches.
Yep.
The same aggressive Long Island attitude, tactics, call the whole country. What do you mean we only talk to people a mile away?
Right.
I'm doing mortgages in Hawaii, fuck you, right? That whole thing, the mortgage bubble blows up, bursts, 2007, 8, you have a financial crisis. In the wake of that, what does everyone need? Small business loans. It's the same person.
What are they doing?
Guys.
What are they doing now?
That's what they're doing.
Still small business
It's so
loans.
sick. They're doing high interest.
It's like legal loan sharks.
Wow.
It's worse than loan sharks.
Why?
Because at least like a loan shark will break your legs, not literally put your whole life out of business.
Right.
Like, so now that what they're doing is like call up a guy that owns a diner.
Yeah.
And basically like all of his personal assets get securitized. You make him a loan that you know he can't pay back, but he'll pay.
So remember how I told you how Warren Buffett borrows money on stuff and everything like that on stocks? Well, these guys are now grifting small business. It's always the small business owners or just people that are like financially literate that they're like, hey, no, we'll lend you this money and stuff. Just roll up your whole company, your whole real estate and stuff. I know you got your property paid off and stuff like that, and we'll give you a nice loan tax free. You want to be like Warren Buffett, right? Yeah, I want to be like Warren Buffett. But they set all these fucking horrible terms on these things. And then from there, they know, like, these fucking vultures, they know these guys can't pay the money back. So basically what they're doing is they're legally stealing. They're basically robbing them blind legally. Well, he signed on the dotted line. This fucking idiot in 2 years. Like, 9 out of 10 of these idiots won't be able to pay the loan back anyway and stuff. So basically what they're doing is that they're going to steal all this property and everything from them. Business. Oh, the business. Who cares? We got the real estate property. We got whatever interest we got off of that, and we got our money back because it's evil shit, man. There's like the vultures of vultures right here.
Up a guy that owns a diner.
Yeah.
And basically
Loan sharks.
it's worse than loan sharks.
Why?
Because at least like a loan shark will break your legs, not literally put your whole life out of business.
Right.
Like, so now that what they're doing is like call up a guy that owns a diner.
Yeah.
And basically like all of his personal assets get securitized. You make him a loan that you know he can't pay back, but he'll pay the juice for 2 years trying.
Wow.
It's like an 18% loan, like basically a credit card loan. And then after 2 years, it's like, all right, sorry, things didn't work out. But it's a cold calling mill. So they're always finding
There's
new
something
desperate
about
people.
Long Island that just for whatever reason, and it shares a lot of similarities with Orange County, California, which is the southern county in California, south of LA.
Yeah.
It's deeply, conservative. It's where subprime mortgages start.
Now, I will pause this right here because like Fallout Zone had a great. They do the research before they go after somebody. Definitely, they do. They specifically target where they're going. Like, where is wealth? Where can we steal wealth from? Where is there still wealth from? This happened right around the 2000, the tech boom, right when that popped in 2001. Boom, off of like a 9/11. Basically, 9/11 is what like really clicked it off, and it was over. Basically, right when that happened. There was all these reports of all the major banks, Citibank, Bank of America. They all did these. There's these when you're very, very, very rich in these banks, what they do is they have these kind of plutarian, like I would almost call it like these high level like research and stuff, and they go look around in the country where there's wealth, and they figured out Americans just got wrecked on the equities market and stuff. Where do they have money still? Oh, a lot of these guys have a ton of money in equity in their houses. People have paid off houses. People have like a lot of equity in homes and stuff. Let's try to drain these guys here. So they went from that to that. Then from there, it's like, oh fuck, well these guys are all drained out now. Let's print a bunch of money and then pump up the equities market again, and then we drain them again. I don't think they were really expecting crypto, and crypto's kind of like this one little weird wrench in the system there because it's kind of a weird capital class that's just joined up and stuff. It's really interesting, but they're trying to control it regardless right now. But because of the limited supply, it's tough basically, right? It's insane. And then on top of that, like people like HB. Now we joke around. I think Rolo talks about this. And shout out to Rolo. I'll be having Rolo on my stream, and we'll be simulcasting on streams here in Sticky Paws on Thursday at 11:30 in the morning. We'll be doing a really cool. We were gonna have Cappy in here, but he's somewhere. He lost in the mountains, and RIP. But shout out to Aaron Clary. But these like people like HBC, right? They specifically during the housing crisis, they specifically targeted elderly black people, black citizens. They looked up which ones had their properties paid off, which ones were almost done, and they went and targeted elderly African Americans. And in those reports, they basically said like, and they got sued. They had to pay a couple $2 billion back for in terms of fees and stuff for doing this. But in those reports, the own people at HBC were basically saying it's so easy. These dumb mud people will sign anything we put in front of them. These fucking pieces of shit right here that like do this kind of crap, evil shit. Now, this is the joke that, like, what Rolo was saying and stuff. Like, there was a report by, I think, Wells Fargo made a report that basically some of the best asset classes to invest in would probably be box wine and chewy toys for dogs and cats, because there's actually a significant amount of single women in America and stuff, and that's going to continue. Basically, if someone doesn't get their pair in the next 10 millennial women, if they don't find someone to settle down with in the next 15 years, basically there's going to be a very large amount of a population where they're going to be able to milk them forever. Antidepressant pills, box wine, chew toys, catnip. I mean, it's ridiculous. Basically, buy pet stocks. You're gonna do pretty well over this next decade. But it's just looking at they're just looking for pockets of where's money so they can like take it. But I digress. And also it's stuff, since we're like, and then we see there's a huge, so same thing with the crypto space, but we're in the crypto space together, and we're like, these dumb fucks are printing so much money, we're gonna take all that money. So we're buying all these coins now, and they're cheap, and they're just funneling cash to us and allowing us to rise above in the Citadel and stuff like that. So link below.
Wow.
It's like an 18% loan, like basically a credit card loan. And then after 2 years, it's like, all right, sorry, things didn't work out. But it's a cold calling mill, so they're always finding
There's
new
something
desperate
about
people.
Long Island that just, for whatever reason, and it shares a lot of similarities with Orange County, California, which is the southern county in California, south of LA.
Yeah.
It's deeply, conservative. It's where subprime mortgages started. They started in Irvine, California, with a company called Countrywide, which became the biggest lender, of that
blue chip mortgage lender.
Yeah, blue chip mortgage lender. And they started in Irvine, California. And Irvine is very similar to Long Island, where it's a lot of nondescript office buildings on the side of a highway. And there's just a lot of young dudes that are willing to put on a tie and try to, better themselves in whatever way they can.
So the sick thing is that my parents were like proud of me.
Yeah.
And so I have a job where I wear a shirt and tie.
That's right.
And after like not knowing.
Now, I'll let him talk right now in a minute and stuff, because it's my fucking show. But but this is some real shit he's about to talk about, where like there is a lot of pressures of why you want to do, because it's a lot of these people are just people who want to make some money and stuff like that, but it's these evil people at the top that put the system. And the thing is, there's a lot of these guys who just don't want to be normal, and they're willing to do kind of gray market stuff. And then after a while, after doing so much gray, they end up going into the black instead of going into the light, basically. And you have this whole thing where like it's all about perception. The reason a lot of parents want you to go to school is because so they could say you went to school. Oh, my daughter's going to Harvard. My daughter's going to UCLA, UC Irvine. Oh my God, he's going to ULV or whatever the fuck, Texas A&M and stuff. He's playing football, right? It's all about, like, for a lot of parents, it's not about the education or the money of the child. It's about, my child is better than your dog shit child. Oh, it sucks you didn't raise your child that great, but Cindy's doing awesome. Anyway, but it's true. I mean, that's really what it is. And then on top of that, there's a pressure as a child. Like, I've talked about this before. I had such a pressure to go to college. Oh my God. I felt like I remember being like 20 years old, leaf blower strapped to my back, LOL. And like, I fucking just out of nowhere just started crying because I was like, I'm a fucking failure. I'm a loser and stuff. Like I've let my parents down, you know, like I'm not going to go to college and stuff and I'm going to be like a fucking deadbeat motherfucker. Damn. I'm a failure now. Like all the effort my parents put into me is now down the drain and stuff. I'm just going to be some fucking 9-to-5 loser. And that is the pressure that's put on children by parents and stuff, not intentionally because the parents do want the best for their child, but a lot of the time it really is because of like what they can say and stuff like that, you know? So it is. Yeah, don't get into the dark arts, definitely, man. But all this stuff about like there's all these men and stuff like that. Like they essentially just hijack these men, put them into like lure them in with money, and then from there just their morals get decayed over time, little coke, little cookers and stuff, and then boom. Tragedy.
And Irvine is very similar to Long Island, where it's a lot of nondescript office buildings on the side of a highway, and there's just a lot of young dudes that are willing to put on a tie and try to, you know, better themselves in whatever way they can.
So the sick thing is that my parents were like proud of me.
Yeah.
And so I have a job where I wear a shirt and tie.
That's right.
After like not knowing what the hell I wanted to do.
Right.
And I actually can read. So like I have a leg up on a lot of the other people that are.
Yeah.
So then they're like grooming me to like be a manager.
Right.
Which if you don't own the firm, basically the manager doesn't actually have any power, but he's somebody that could be pointed to when things go wrong.
Right.
So I'm being groomed for that.
Get a little maybe paid on volume bonus.
Yeah. So you're like the most trustworthy pirate on the pirate ship, basically. So, but people in your real life, they're like, "What do you do?" "Oh, I do stocks. Like I do investments." So, oh wow, it's like, no,
it's a big deal.
It's not. Oh wow,
it's a big deal to have a business card, and hand it to people that says loan specialist, loan consultant, terms that are blatantly fake, that have no.
Were you a loan consultant?
I was a lot of things. I was a loan
cryptocurrency educator.
Specialist and loan consultant. Right. We would say I would say I'm an expert in residential finance. We would go through we'd run the gamut of things that I was. I was a account executive.
Right.
For a little while there.
That's the first thing that you started.
A few months I was an account executive, but then I moved pretty quickly up to specialist.
I think what all these people share in common is Nassau Community College.
We all went. I went to Nassau Community. I met. The guy that got me into mortgages was my debate partner.
I will say this though, I've been doing crypto now for such a long time that like for the longest time, I would just make up what do you do for a living now? I would just like, I'm just doing landscape. I do construction, or just like I wouldn't even tell people. And now like I tell now I don't care. Like I just say what I do. Like I do cryptocurrency. It's like, I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah. Things are tough right now, but I'm a cryptocurrency analyst specialist and stuff like that, in the space and stuff.
I was on the debate team
partner
at Nassau Community College. He had like a little debate team, and I was on the debate team, and I was really good at it. And he goes, "Hey, you should do mortgages," because he had a Range Rover. And I said, "I want a Range Rover." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm a mortgage guy." He goes, "You're really good at talking. You should do this."
Yeah.
So I just came in and.
So you were doing this at the height of the mortgage bubble too. Like people wanted to talk to you.
I started in 2000, part-time 2004 or 5.
Perfect.
Like this is, dude, I'm pausing so much because there's so much sauce and all this stuff. It's just like this inner game stuff on finance and money and stuff. But it's true, when the markets are really hot, everyone and their mom wants to talk to you. Like right now, this is why me and Charlie work so hard to talk to you guys right now, because it's not hot to talk about crypto. Even right now, maybe barely they're barely opening their eye a little bit. Ethereum's done a little something. Bitcoin's not, but it's 30,000 now and stuff. I guess, but we were banging the war drums now to get you guys in now to make the money now. Versus later on, they're just banging we don't even bang the drum and shit. They're banging the drum for us. They're trying to break the doors down. Please tell us what to buy and stuff like that. So, shout out to you guys. All 160 of you guys live in the chat right now. Shout out to you guys. You guys are gonna make it, man.
In 2000, part-time 2004 or 5.
Perfect.
And I was in school. I dropped out of school. And then I rode the wave. I did well. I never made insane, crazy money. But I rode the wave up until, I was there for the entire disintegration of that sector of the economy. And I watched it and that was a better education than college, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Seeing guys go from making $50,000 a month to delivering pizza.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was a crazy mind fuck, if I can say that.
But even on the way up, like I knew guys that were laying carpet.
Right.
And then a year later, they're literally making six figures.
It's crazy.
Doing mortgages. And it's like, what do you even know about mortgages? He says, I don't know anything about mortgages. I know how to get people to sign paperwork.
That's right.
Woo! They'd be amazing Army recruiters. A lot of those guys that were in... No, I'm being for real, you guys. You think I'm joking around. A lot of the guys who left the real estate industry, because I talked to some of these recruiters, they used to... Some of the best Army recruiters were originally real estate guys during the 2008 boom and stuff. These guys just went to hustle kids from high school into signing on the dotted line. Hit a Pepe on that. That was incredible. And these guys, I mean, this is why we say, I mean, this one of the most important skills is sales and stuff, but sales with morality a little bit. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it's kind of it is that sort of thing and stuff. But I know they're kind of amping it up, the jokiness of it and stuff. But it's very true. Like it's a lot of people, you just had them transition into this whole thing. There's a lot of guys that came into the 21 cycle and stuff of crypto, were full on crypto guys, experts, NFT guys, and everything, and they all fucked off. Where are they at now? Lion frame, you guys. No, rugged by the Army and stuff. Do you want a Dodge Charger RT Scat Pack? Sign on the dotted line, mister. Where do I sign? Right here. Sheesh. Got your ass now. Where's my card? Get on the bus, soldier. Done. Dude, these recruiters, these Army recruiters are insane, man. Just shout out to the boys. I think if I remember correctly, they're making $500 to $1,500 per person they sign up to the military. If I remember correctly, I think that's how much they make on your ass, selling you into the worst boot camp of your life. But crypto mindset Q2, you guys, sign up today. Links in the description box below. Don't be poor. Sign up now, because later on, man, I'm telling you, man, sheesh, man, you guys are gonna remember like me, because when the courses are small right now, you guys are really going to remember. Like we're always going to take time to take care of our guys and stuff. But remember, crypto ages like wine. Today's price is not tomorrow's price. You want to buy Bitcoin under 33,000. You want to buy Ethereum under 2,300. You want to buy Hex under hopefully 10 cents, but 21 cents for you want to pack your bags now on the major shit, locked and load. Boom, got it in. Then from there, we're like snipers for the rest of the year, for the next 2 years. Pop, 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 taking shots on some coins, trying to get these fucking 30, 40, 50, 100 bangers. All we drink is fucking glass bottle water. All we wear is gold rings, baby. Lambos, whatever you like to wear or whatever you like to drive. Sometimes you can't fit in cars because you're tall, you know? But let's do it, man.
$50,000 a month to delivering pizza.
Yeah.
That was a crazy mind fuck, if I can say that.
But even on the way up, like I knew guys that were laying carpet.
Right.
And then a year later, they're literally making six figures.
It's crazy.
Doing mortgages. And it's like, what do you even know about mortgages? He says, I don't know anything about mortgages. I know how to get people to sign paperwork.
That's right.
And that went on for like
people wanted,
not 6 months. That went on for like 5 years.
People wanted to sign it. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, yes, there was predatory lending, and yes, people were dealt with dishonestly, but there was also a lot of dishonest people that wanted money. I talked about it on my show. I said, the idea of a victim in that, because everyone was like, there were so many victims. And you go, yeah, but historically, look at what the term victim has meant, right? The Catholic Inquisition, all these crazy things where you were persecuted or murdered. In this time in history, being a victim meant someone lent you too much money.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the better ways to be a victim.
I think there's like two kinds, though. There are people who just, somebody looks and sounds professional.
Now, he is talking about there was two sides of this coin. There's people who already had money that just got lent too much money. My father had clients like this and stuff where they got riggedy wrecked, bros. I'm talking about these people had like 20, 35 paid off properties and stuff, making tons of cash, private jets, and basically heart attack, died. The wife had to sell all the property off at the worst times, sold the private jet, got left with like 2 houses from 20. And it's just like, oh, boohoo, no, you got to imagine like the downgrading and how hard you have had to work to build yourself up to that point, and then get to the point now where like you basically live in one of like the off houses. And it's too late now and you're too old to try to build it back. And then the other side where people were just trying to make it up for the first time in buying the houses and then on top of that, the blue collar guys trying to build up the businesses, and then it all went away, and then damn, they lost most of the businesses and stuff. And this happened to everybody. I mean, it's just crazy. Everyone took an L, but also everyone was living at large for a while too and stuff like that. So it's sort of like it's a victim, but not really, but it is. It's yeah.
And they assume that they're getting advice, even from a mortgage.
True.
Like, oh, well, this person thinks I should buy this $1 million house based on
I can do it.
So that's real. That's
But what
a real
about the
victim.
people making 30 grand that are completely financially illiterate, like getting like totally fucking abused?
Yeah.
That is unfortunate, but I would argue that wasn't the reason for the crash. I really don't believe that. I don't believe that subprime was a very small part of the market. What people speculating with actual some financial literacy and
Facts.
pretty decent credit, who are able to leverage 4 or 5 homes and then just let 3 of them go.
Yes.
Seem to be, subprime was a small part of the market. And yes, that's horrible if you have no financial literacy. But the bigger problem was adjustable rate mortgages. Most people would have been okay if in 2 or 3 years that rate was consistent. A lot of
Boom, right there. Goddamn Tim Dillon's a smart motherfucker. But you could tell he was in the industry and stuff like that, in the mortgage industry and stuff. But he like literally fuck these adjustable rate mortgages or these ARMs or these balloons or whatever the hell you're using. Know what your payment is. That's the main thing. You know what your payment is. It doesn't move. Good. Done. That's the type of if you're going to take leverage, it's a leverage it stays there. Leverage with terms. Not this fucking like random ass, like whatever the market does, whatever the market does. I mean, we're going to be at zero forever, you guys. Jesus Christ. You guys don't know the incoming, the amount of doom that's coming, you guys. Like, I cannot, I've been saying for fucking almost 2 years now that if the Federal Reserve increases the interest rates to 5.5%, things start breaking. And then just the other day, they're like, yeah, it looks like they're probably going to increase it another 3 times to 5.5%. I was like, oh my God, these fuckers are taking it to the limit. It's insane, dude. It's just like, it's wild to me that they're taking it to that 5.5%. It's like, because at a 5.5%, that's when you start having, cities declaring bankruptcy. You start having some of the work, the smaller cities, maybe even some major cities, it's because they trick they honey dick these. So it's not just Americans. It's not just the American individual taking out these bad loans. Sometimes zombie corporations or people are put in a tough position. They have to take these loans with bad terms because maybe I can turn this bitch around in 3 years. Maybe I can, or at least I can keep my whole thing for the next 3 years and I cash out and that's it. It is what it is, or whatever the fuck they use to justify to themselves. I would bet you there's a lot of these retirement funds that have taken very shitty loans to make payments. And it's not really well known right now, but someone's writing those checks secretly. There's a lot of fuck shit that's going to be uncovered right now. The real estate tide's still rolling. And this pump wasn't a real estate pump, but it was just an overall asset pump. But it's 75 more basis points, you guys.
of them would have been okay.
But nobody would have sold that consistent rate product to those people.
Nobody,
There's no money in it.
And that is sad that there are people that had no idea that got bamboozled. But it's just my opinion. Not so much my opinion, but like the vast majority of people that I dealt with knew they shouldn't kind of have the money.
Right.
And they were like, it's a very American thing. We'll figure it out later.
Yes.
Totally.
It's the entire way we run our society. Like
Yes.
down the road, we'll figure it out. We'll move in a tenant. Your side business that makes $0 will start making money. We'll figure out how to cover, like
Right.
we got a backyard pool coming. You'll teach swimming lessons, whatever it was.
Yes. And the thing is that everybody is doing that same thing.
Right.
So you're
We'll get a
surrounded by
Lambo, we'll do
people.
Uber.
You're at a bar. It's 2006. You're in someone's backyard at a barbecue, whatever. There's 5 guys there that you went to high school with. You know they're idiots. They're flipping houses.
Right.
How are you doing? How do you have the money
Yeah.
to have 3 homes that you're fixing up and selling?
Because Tim's lending them money.
Yeah.
Tim, what do you
I'm
mean?
doing it. Yeah. It's my fault. Well, it was a great, and this is funny, people laugh. There's a show, obviously, that everybody knows now called The Real Housewives franchise.
Whew. Okay, we're about to really go into some red pill shit right here with this. I'm very proud of myself to say I've never seen an episode. And I plan to never watch one, but I sometimes watch people that watch them. Just to hear their synopsis, because I'm not going to hurt my brain cells with that. And I need this brain of mine needs to make us a lot of money and stuff. So I don't want to losing a brain cell here can mean like selling too early or too late and shit. So got to protect myself. But basically, what he talks about here is what happens is when most reasons divorce happens is because the money fucks up for the man. So either, we've talked about this. Most divorces are initiated by the woman and stuff like that. But the reason that this happens is because men either go through depression, they lose their job, financial struggle, maybe the equities went down, they start losing money. It's legitimately almost 2/3 of the times it's because financial situations, or the 1/3 like you just get depressed and then you're not in your frame, you're not being a man, something's different about you, I'm just gonna leave you and stuff. It's insane what he'll talk about right here on this fake ass show, real relationships, but kind of a fake show, like how many divorces and how the show progresses over time. It's insane, dude. Monkey branching.
Doing it. Yeah. It's my fault. Well, it was a great, and this is funny, people laugh. There's a show, obviously, that everybody knows now called The Real Housewives franchise. And in the first incarnation of it, it was in Orange County. And the first season of it, everyone in the show is connected to a failing real estate empire. Some subprime. One guy runs a title company.
Yeah.
One woman's a realtor.
Right.
And none of them are bright. And when I say not bright, I'm being quite nice about it, right? I'm being kind of generous. You look at these people and you go, how do they have Amex
How do they
black
have that
cards?
house?
How do they?
Yeah.
And then you start to realize that like they were just riding this wave. And then season 2 is all the bankruptcies.
Right.
And season 3 is all the divorces. And you go, it's such an interesting charting of.
Don't you think that same thing is going to happen mostly on the West Coast with technology?
Sure.
Like, are all of these people who go work for a company 6 months later, the company IPOs for $9 billion.
Right.
Then the stock gets killed. It's worth $3 billion. All of these people had all this wealth on paper.
Right.
It's not that they're not hardworking people or good people. It has nothing to do with
Right.
that. They're in a wave that they don't control.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you look at just.
So now, yes and no. I mean, look, if the way, sometimes if you see opportunity to make money, go make the money. Duh. Go make that money. What is your stay there at your job making $80,000 or $50,000, or for 2-3 years go make that $300,000, $400,000, maybe $1 million one year. It's just what you do with that capital afterwards. It's just having that large savings rate, not spending money on a bunch of dumb shit. This is something Justin Waller does. I do as well and stuff like that. I really even though it looks like I'm spending all this money on dumb stuff and stuff. I'm literally spending less than 10% of my income on dumb stuff. But yeah, this is something that what's his name? Oh my god, I'm forgetting his name. This bodybuilder guy, really smart guy and stuff like that. Jesus Christ. He does a lot of keto and stuff. I totally forgot his name. I feel terrible. But it's not frugal. No. It's just basically there's something I learned from Grant Cardone a long time ago and stuff. It's you don't have a savings problem. You have a income problem. You're not going to save yourself to $1 million. And if you did, what's that $1 million worth at that time? Nothing. Miguel, I can't believe you drink Starbucks coffee. Do you know if you save those $5 of that Starbucks coffee and then put it into an ETF for the S&P 500, and in 30 years you'll be able to buy yourself a Lamborghini? Okay, let's go down the math of that. If I save $5 every day because I'm drinking a coffee every day, and I put that away into the S&P 500, and one day, Miguel, that $5 every day for the next 30 years is going to turn to $1 million. A fucking Lambo is going to cost $37 million in 30 years. So I'm going to buy myself a fucking Prius. In the immortal words of Jay-Z, what the fuck you think I rap for? To push a fucking rad for? What are we talking about here? Take that fucking $5 coffee, get caffeinated, go work more hours, do more stuff. Take that extra capital you have, put it into the market, or go build a business. Or scale something with a family member or your buddy or something, or yourself and stuff. Whatever it takes. Like it's ridiculous to me. I get really irritated with some of these pugnacious and stuff about like now. Should you be charging everything on credit? I think really credit cards, most people should only be opening credit cards just to get their credit up and stuff. From there, you only should be using credit cards if you have tons of money. Like it makes sense if I'm fucking off $15,000 a month and stuff like that on a credit card, but then I have $15,000, I easily can pay my credit card off. Sure, it's worth it for me because I'm going to get somewhere between 2 to 3% of my money back on that $15,000 or a business expenses. Sure, but should you be racking up $5,000? Like, look, let me tell you this. For like when you're making normal money, when you're making under $100,000 and you owe $5,000 on a credit card, that $5,000 of a credit card is a $400 to $600 payment for minimum payments. Trust me, I was there. You get into this rat race. You owe $3,000 on this credit card, $2,000 here, $5,000 on the other one, and by the time you look at it, you're fucking paying more than a car payment for minimum payments on these credit cards. Not even paying them off. And you're like, oh, let me I'll put an extra $100 here, $100 here, $100 here. Debit card, like I would wake up every day. How much money do I got in my bank today? Boom. Okay, cool. Okay, I got to make sure I siphon this off for the workers. Boom. This, I got to make sure I got some lunch money, gasoline. Tonight I'm going out for dinner. What do I have left over? Boom. Crypto. Broke again. Next day, out here scrambling, trying to stay hungry. Trying to keep, and that's what I did. Now, that's for a business owner. That's a business owner mindset. Now, if you're working a W-9 or 1099 or something like that, you have to play it differently based on your paycheck and stuff. But it's that whole thing. The richest man in Babylon, you pay yourself first. It really is that sort of thing. And there's these lessons that you can really learn from all these people. I mean, not every single guru or guy's got all the answers, but they typically have a pretty decent, like a couple points that just really add up. And if you collect all these things together, it really adds up. I mean, what did Robert Kiyosaki teach you? Your house is not an asset. What's an asset? An asset is something that pays you income and money instead of it's a liability, right? So you just take all these things, funnel them down and stuff like that. So I do not like this whole frugal guy crap. It's stupid and stuff. But always try to grow your income, the bottom line. But you gotta say, but you gotta put money away for investments. And this is why, like, you're sometimes like I've literally says people are so bad at saving money that you're better off investing. Like if you let's just say you saved up $1,000, right? You're better off putting the $1,000 into a coin, into a crypto coin, or $1,000 into a stock, and it going down 50%. But what'll happen is over the next 2-3 years, you'll keep putting $100, $20, $30, that you'll save up more money on a 50% loss than you will actually save in your real life. Because when you have idle hands or the work of the devil or whatever, when you have $24,000 or $100,000 in your, it takes a lot of willpower to control that. When you have $45,000 in your bank account, oh honey, let's go on a vacation, let's go do this, you'll spend it. The reason I really believe one of the big reasons why people really get wealthy in investing money in real estate, stocks, cryptos, is because they can't spend it off. And then eventually, by the time they look back and they're like, oh, fuck, maybe I should grab some out and like take some profits. They're like, Jesus Christ, where did all this come from? Because you never would have saved. People are very bad at saving money. I've learned this the hard way. It's just like, this is something that, what's his name? What's a guy? Not Rich Dad Poor Dad, but what's his name? What's that dude's name? My God, I'm spacing on the dude's name. But anyway, he's like the debt snowball. Dave Ramsey talks about. Yeah, Dave Ramsey talks about this all the time and stuff like that. Is that the reason the snowball method works is because people are emotional. They need little wins versus logical. Most people are not logical. They think they're logical, but they're not. They're irrational, right? So it's this entire thing where you really need to make sure that you are squirreling things away and you make it harder for you to grab it there. Even though crypto is one of the most liquid money in the world, it's still a pain in the ass. I gotta go into the ledger or the Trezor. Oh, then I gotta move it onto Coinbase. Oh, then I gotta sell it on Coinbase. Oh, then I gotta fucking put it into cash account. Oh, and then from the cash account, it's gotta go to my bank. Oh, and that takes 7 fucking days. And you're like, man, fuck this shit. I'll just leave it there. These barriers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. But when you have it in your bank account, oh, just log into Chase, move it into the main account. Sure, honey, let's guy this. Shushing. And then like, oh, fuck, what happened to all our money and stuff like that? Oh, I fucked it off. Sorry, in Tahiti. Hit a Pepe. And sure, and I'm being for real. There's ways to save money. There's tons of ways to save money. Like, of course, don't do dumb stuff. Don't buy this. Don't buy that, and stuff like that. Like, one of the biggest things, right? I'm gonna say I've said this for my brothers, and they never believed me on this shit until just recently. They're like, "Fuck, you're right." And I've had cousins and uncles I've told this to and said they never believed me. All right, a lot of people, like, they buy these like a shittier version of a car, and they're like, "Oh, I'm buying this car, but I'm doing these upgrades on it." Stupid. Let me buy this Honda. I'm gonna put a twin turbo on it. I'm gonna do this and this and this on it and stuff like that. By the time you add up all the money you just paid for the car, the upgrades, the fucking paint job, the rims, and all this other shit, you're like, oh my God, I could have just bought a better fucking car. You could have bought the GTR. I think it's literally, you're better off stretching yourself into like, oh, I'm gonna buy this V6 Charger. I've seen people do this shit. I'm gonna buy a V6, buy a V6 Charger. I'm gonna put a supercharger on it. I'm gonna do this and this. I'm gonna put rims and spoilers. I'm gonna put all this tit and shit. I'm gonna do this and this. I'm gonna upgrade it. Oh, let me change the body style a bit. Let me buy these panels. By the time you look at it, you could have bought the fucking Scat Pack. What the fuck are we talking about? Like, you buy the Scat Pack, you do a couple things, done. No more. And if you're in the Scat Pack money, shit, go stretch yourself, go get the Hellcat. What are we talking about here? I'm serious, and it's not a joke. You're better off spending upfront the money, making sure that the terms are good, and getting it that, because if you look down the line, you'll spend more money on these little upgrades than you will do anything. I've seen so many people. I've got this shout out to my brother, man. But my brother told me, like, bro, you were totally right. I should just bought the couple guns I wanted, but instead he bought himself an arsenal. He's got enough guns to fill up this entire fucking studio. And then he's like, oh my God, if I had just bought half as less guns and put that into crypto or into anything, I'd have millions today. It's controlling your hobbies a little bit. Gym is a great hobby, right? You're cool. Like, just be careful on the deadlifts. But the gym's a great hobby. There's great hobbies like hiking and stuff. Shout out to Cappy and stuff. Like, it's getting good hobbies that don't cost you a fucking fortune. Guys go broke with hobbies. That's where we go broke on, right there. Females is the other one, but like, I mean, it's deal with the devil. You have to do it. But I mean, it's true. Yeah, not wrong. But credit cards at the strip club, swipe it. Oh my God, bro. Yeah, that's another thing. Never use a credit card at the strip club and stuff. Always cash, I guess. I mean, I don't know, man of God here. I wouldn't know anything about that, but but never credit. Yeah, just stay away from credit cards for the most part. Open them. I would say, like, if you're 18 years old, go open a credit card. Maybe just like $500. Open one of those prepaid credit cards and have it open, because it's just what the most important thing of that credit card is the age of the credit card. If you open it when you're 18, by the time you actually will need your credit at 25, 26, 27, you now have a 7-8 year credit history on a couple cards. Like, wow, you're at 700 plus, rate and stuff like that. You just fill up your tank one time with gas and you pay the minimum payment. You set it on auto pay and just fucking forget about it. They don't teach you this shit in school, kids. I'm just telling you, man. That's why you gotta listen to Uncle Miguel and Uncle Charlie and stuff, man. When I call, it's like, fuck Santa. When I'm calling, it's good news. Like, every time I've called a client of ours or somebody from the Red Pill space, they're like, hey, bro, you made a lot of money. They're like, damn, they're like, I've had a lot of people tell me, like, bro, you're better than Santa. I know. Let's go back to it.
Don't you think that same thing is going to happen mostly on the West Coast with technology?
Sure.
Like, are all of these people who go work for a company. 6 months later, the company IPOs for $9 billion.
Right.
Then the stock gets killed. It's worth $3 billion. All of these people had all this wealth on paper.
Right.
It's not that they're not hardworking people or good people. It has nothing to do
Right.
with that. They're in a wave that they don't control.
Wow, I know I just went on life advice for money, but I totally forgot what we were talking about here. So yes, so what they're talking about here is just basically riding these waves and stuff, and obviously ride the wave, get the money, of course, duh. But it's where you squirrel it away. You know, that's the big thing. Like anytime you get a big amount of money, try to hold that big amount of. I'm not talking about little chump change, fucking W-9 checks or whatever the fuck you're getting. I'm talking about you get a nice $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 like payday. You got a lot of you guys will get those kind of paydays. Have the money there. Get used to it for about a year, 2 years. Then, like, it's waiting the 1 to 2 years before increasing your spending. That's what I did. And when I started really making money from crypto, I didn't spend anything else. I mean, I held on to crypto money for like forever until eventually, like, all right, I'll start investing in stuff, or I'll start like I'll spend on some stuff that I like. You know, it's getting used to having that kind of money there, and then once you control yourself on having that kind of money, then you can partition it off more safely. It's what happens when people get that big shit. Whoa, let's go, let's spend it, baby. Shing. That's where you get in trouble. But these guys, they're sort of right. They're sort of seeing that like the tech sector, especially on the West Coast and stuff, but the tech sector around the world is about to get fucking a heavy eld. This ChatGPT shit is real. It's real serious, you guys. And you've heard me before. I said most coders aren't worth shit. On camera, where's the camera? Which one is it? That one? That one. Yeah, that one. Right there, man. That most coders ain't worth shit. I've said this for a long time. People's like, you know what? Most of these guys are just copy and pasting motherfuckers. Like, there is talented super people. There's always talented. But if the average human's lazy, the average coder is a lazy sack of shit. Right? So, I mean, there's going to be a ton of automation and more continual automation in the tech sector and stuff. Like, these evil fucks at these companies, you don't think they're not going to, they're going to hire this ChatGPT guy, and I'm just talking about the AI guy, and he's going to replace about 15 of the guys working at the company through his automations. There's still going to be a really high level guy and some other stuff, but basically what's going to happen with this AI stuff, especially in not just finance, but in like coding and stuff and all these in Silicon Valley companies, is what's going to happen. So what's going to happen is what happened to the stock market. So back in the day, you used to be able to work on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange back in the 90s and just about 2001, right before it crashed. From there, computers got added. They gutted the place. Instead of having 3,000, 2,000 brokers yelling at the top of their lungs, it went down to a couple hundred. That's what's going to happen with tech. So what I'm telling you right now is one of the muscles you guys need to really work on is imagination. Imagination. I'm not talking about smoking weed. I'm talking about imagination, because what's going to happen is what in this AI world we're going into and stuff, because we're heading into this thing, it's going to be about the ones who are actually creative with the AI versus the guys who are just like, make it do this prompt, then do this prompt, then do this, do that. It's going to be about, like, right now, anyone who does like a stuff with AI can be a dumb fuck and be like, ChatGPT, do this, read my video, give me thumbnails, read the video, give me timestamps, Then later on, it's going to be about ChatGPT. I need you to go into here and here and see this connotation on this video here with this video and see if you can make a fusion video of these two, and then from there see if it makes sense with this, and then put it out there as like a clip and stuff for me. It's going to be about like knowing nuances and stuff about humans and stuff, and then being able to fuse it together and tell the machine what to do from there. The imagination. That's what it's going to be valuable, because the machines can't replace that right now. Maybe in 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, but hey. But anyway, I'm getting off my soapbox. Anyway,
$1 billion.
Right.
Then the stock gets killed. It's worth $3 billion. All of these people had all this wealth on paper.
Right.
It's not that they're not hardworking people or good people. It has nothing to do with that. They're in a wave that they don't control.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you look at Justin Bieber paying $1 million for a photo of an ape.
Woo! We're at crypto, baby. They finally did it. 17 minutes in. Thanos glove. We're out here, man. Justin Bieber. Here we go.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you look at Justin Bieber paying $1 million for a photo of an ape.
Yeah.
You go, how sustainable is that?
It can't be.
That's not a sustainable. I mean, it can't crazy when you think about it. I think the technology behind it's really interesting, transformative, people like myself that are creators we make a living independently. I love the idea of more people being able to do that.
Yeah.
But, when you look at the sustainability of it and you go, how many people are in it for the ape and how many people are in it to get rich?
Well, the thing
They're
is,
in
like,
it to
All of them. So part of them, it would be about it's about flexing, peacocking and stuff. The other half is about getting rich. And I would say most people get into it rich, and then a certain portion of them see like, oh, this is really cool for peacocking because it's like buying a really fancy watch and stuff. It's an investment piece, but most times you invest in watches, you're just breaking even and stuff. But yeah,
pump and dump.
But Justin Bieber can take $1 million.
He can do it.
He can do it. He can do it once a week.
That's
but
right.
a lot more. So the story here is a lot more people can do it than you think. Very few people are taking $30,000, or in the case of a Bored Ape, fucking $300,000,
Right.
and buying Ethereum and then buying an ape. Like Bieber's doing that. The
Right.
celebrities are doing that. But the reason why this is more sustainable than you think is because it's all crypto money. So there's a site where you could like literally see how many people have more than 100 ETH in their wallet.
Sure.
Guess how many people? I'll tell you.
How many?
42,000 have more than 100
Right.
ETH. So it's poker chips.
Right.
It's not dollars.
Right.
At Bored Ape, it's 100 ETH. I've got 300. What's the difference?
But here's the thing though. ETH is now cut in half from its high.
But that doesn't matter though.
No,
it's a poker.
no, he's kind of right about this. Like it is poker chips in a way. Now it's financial poker chips and stuff, but remember, like it's fucking crazy they even said this and stuff. But yeah, man, like the Ethereum's the Chuck E. Cheese token of like it's the token to play the games, and the game is shitcoins. So I was like, ooh, I'm gonna take my one Ethereum and I'm gonna put it into the Doge or the Pepe coin or the Zen or the Hex and stuff. And these are the coins. And then from there, like, wow, I hit the jackpot. And then you sell, and then you're like, wow, I turned my one Chuck E. Cheese token into 7 of these tokens. Fuck yeah! Now you're out here gambling more on the other machines. It's a casino slash arcade and stuff like that. But he is right. There is a dollar value to it. But with a lot of these NFTs, because they're very illiquid and stuff, sometimes like the prices just stay sky high in Ethereum prices.
it has to matter because if we're saying it's the poker chip and instantly we devalue the poker chip by half,
Dude, wrong.
then that's less money for apes.
Wrong. Actually, in the crypto meltdown right now, the NFTs are not budging. I know the denominator is Ethereum's going down, but the prices for Bored Apes and all this other shit, they're not budging.
Is it the non-liquid market? I don't think there's
Yeah,
real
isn't it
ape
weird?
price discovery.
Isn't it weird?
Oh, it's weird.
Isn't it weird that it's not changing at all?
Because there's
Wouldn't
not
you
enough
think
people
it would
transacting.
change?
Like your house.
Yeah.
You don't know what your house is worth today.
No.
You know what you paid for it. You know what other houses in the neighborhood have recently sold for.
Right.
You don't know what your house is worth until you sell it.
That's right.
You have a good idea. This estimate is
Well,
bullshit.
here's
but
the thing. Here's the thing. You say Bored Apes, like how liquid are they?
How
All right.
many Bored Apes were sold today?
I'll tell you. So you've got a sale 38 minutes ago, 43 minutes ago, 2 hours, whatever. So it's fairly illiquid.
But each one is different, though.
It's fairly
not
illiquid.
the same one.
It's fairly
changing
illiquid.
hands.
Hold on, but here's where it could be like unsustainable. If some asshole is like, right now the floor is 99. If somebody's like, I need to sell yesterday. I need to sell immediately. I've got this loan shark that I need to pay off. I'm gonna list it for 90.
God, more of this loan shark shit. What is up with crypto guys and borrowing from the fucking mafia? Bro, this is actually some real shit. Like, we actually had a guy that was like, yo, I borrowed some money. Oh, dude, I wouldn't borrow money right now, man. I think it's a little crazy. Yeah, I'm going to borrow money no matter what. All right, bro, well, be safe. Make sure to take profit. Didn't take profit. And then later on, he's like, yeah, Miguel, I kind of borrowed from the mafia. I was like, what? And then I ran down through the scenarios. He's like, oh, I borrowed this. Okay, let's just say I borrowed $1 million, and then I ran it up to $4 million. And I was heading for $13 million. Motherfucker, you owed the mafia $1 million and you didn't pay him off first? Greed, bros, greed.
90 ETH and undercut the floor by 9 ETH. And then that's how like maybe this thing could like fall apart is people undercut the floor and just start getting
You don't
scammed.
think it could fall apart just eventually people
Lack of
saying
interest. Bored.
we're bored?
Oh,
of the
totally
board?
could.
That's
Totally
what I
could.
think.
Totally could.
I mean, I think eventually people are going to go, okay, I've made a lot of money doing it. Or they go, the scam has kind of run its course. Let me cash out.
People, or they make 80 versions of the same thing. So
But people don't want 80
next
versions.
week it's pregnant kangaroos, and a week later it's like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
but that's a straw man because nobody wants that. People want Bored Apes right now. You can't just come up with something new and displace this. You can lose interest.
I was going to buy an ape. I was going to buy an ape for $290,000. I was going to get an ape. Well, why are you laughing? You just told me how sustainable it
Did you
was.
see how this guy
I
just
said
came
it's
alive
flip.
15 minutes
The
into
guy
the
just
pod?
flipped. You just went into how this is the
I'm playing
greatest
both
thing in the
sides.
world.
If
Tell your
Ben
story.
acted,
Tell
if
your
Ben
story.
acted like this, you
Yeah.
would cut the mic.
Tell your story.
immediately.
My business manager is a very desperate man, and he races like NFT horses, and he's in big
Oh,
trouble.
Zed run. That's sustainable.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's what he does. And everything I want to do, he always like talks me. He goes, well, I don't know about this. I don't know about that. I want to buy this house in Calabasas. I don't know. Is it really in Calabasas? But if I say I want anything with crypto, he moves the money to Coinbase immediately. So
If that was a financial plan, that's exactly what it'd be. Hey, Miguel, I want to buy a new house. Yo, I don't know, man. The market's kind of like, I think the market's going to crash right now and stuff. How about we roll them into crypto? Well, hey, I've already, here, I'll just do the wire transfer today and we'll start buying some coins tomorrow. That financial advisor's based as fuck, bro.
I want to buy this house in Calabasas. I don't know. Is it really in Calabasas? But if I say I want anything with crypto, he moves the money to Coinbase immediately. So I'm like, I want to board ape. He's like, not a bad idea. I'm like, it's probably a bad idea.
So he's like red pilled. Like
He's red
He's
pilled
on Twitter all
hard.
day, and
I get it because I'm half red pilled.
Yeah.
But I'm half, I don't know.
I'm 3/4.
I watch Peter Schiff at night to come down. Do you know what I mean? Because it's important for me. Peter Schiff has uploaded on YouTube maybe 700 times in the past 3 years, and the title of every single upload is Meltdown Coming.
yeah,
And I just watch him to come down and
to not pull the trigger on the ape
yeah,
because you might need that $290,000.
he makes some good points about the fact that 80% of people that hold Bitcoin or whatever have never sold it, and
Right.
the idea that he's met people that have 100 million in Ethereum and won't sell it, and these are regular people. They turn 20,000 into 100 million, which is impossible to.
No, it is very possible. That is very possible, sir. But that's if you catch one of the big winners and stuff like that. That is because Ethereum at one point was 50 cents a dollar. I mean, the cheapest Ethereum I ever bought was $4. $2. I bought it at $2. My brother bought it 50 cents, motherfucker. But but I'm telling you, you could have bought these coins at that cheap. I mean, what is that? We're at $2,100 and Ethereum is at 50 fucking cents. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. And that motherfucker's paying 4% yield a year too on top of that. It's dividend stock now. Yo. I mean, shit, I turned $1 into 10 G's with Hex, not even counting staking.
To do really anywhere else, and they're not pulling their money out because it's this religiosity, right? And then Schiff is like, you got to pull at least half out. Like, what are you doing? But the guy's like, well, I don't want to miss the billion. So there is a religious.
Oh, totally. Peter Schiff trolls his son on Twitter. You know about that?
No, I love that.
Oh, it's great.
I love that.
I endorse that.
Is Schiff's son a crypto guy?
Maniac. In a good way. I mean,
Wow.
in terms of endearment. Total laser-eyed psycho.
So interesting.
So I think though, the more time you spend on Twitter, the more likely it is that you're going to have a very strong opinion about this whole crypto ecosystem.
Right.
Either strongly anti or strongly obsessed. I don't think you can be on Twitter 6-7 hours a day like a lot of financial people are.
Yeah.
Wait,
and not have a very strong
Hold
opinion.
on.
Right.
This is fucking gold. This is from September 2020. Peter Schiff tweeted, against my advice, my son, and he tagged his son, just bought even more Bitcoin. Whose advice do you want to follow? A 57-year-old experienced investor, business owner who's been an investment professional for over 30 years, or an 18-year-old college freshman who's never even had a job?
What did Bitcoin
What a
do
dick.
after
But
that?
wait, he put a poll up. 80% said the kid.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
That's great.
You know why? Because Peter Schiff don't make profit. The son probably made more money than his dad. I'm just saying, man. Shout out to Peter Schiff, man. Gold up forever, man.
80% said the kid.
That's great.
Cell phone.
And since that, obviously, Bitcoin mooned. Well, not anymore. And gold did what it did.
Well, so I wanted to ask you, so you must get pitched every day to be involved in these projects, because one thing that all these projects have in common is they need like celebrity buy-in to be heard above the noise.
Yeah.
So like how many people are coming to you and being like, hey, we'll give you these coins, just talk about them.
A good amount. But I've always said I won't do an NFT until I'm very sure of like the value proposition. Like I won't sell something until I'm sure that it's worth it for people.
That
right?
you're delivering something in exchange.
Yeah, I want to know exactly.
Let's say you sold an NFT. The thing is, this is what I personally hate about it.
We sold one NFT for 5 ETH back in the day, put it up, sold one. The guy wanted to own it. And I said to them, we're doing this as a joke.
Yeah.
You can buy it. You know, it's a bit. And he bought it. And it's hopefully it does worth money.
Maybe nobody will ever buy it from you. So you just want to want to own it.
Yeah,
Right.
I was like, this is what it is. But I'm not going to issue a coin or a card or anything until I'm like kind of.
So Kings of Leon did this. Were one of the first bands to do an NFT. It made perfect sense to me. You're a huge fan of theirs. You'll buy whatever they say.
Right.
And then you buy it, and they're entitling you first row seats for one show a year.
Great.
That makes perfect sense to me. It's a fan
Right.
club. And
Right.
why shouldn't entertainers do that?
Why not?
Okay. The problem is if you do too much of that and you start issuing things and getting people to buy shit from you, then they fucking own you.
Right.
And then they're like, yo, I bought your thing. Why aren't we having lunch?
I love freedom.
Right.
I love freedom. I hate overcommitting myself.
You hate responsibility.
I hate responsibility.
Yeah, what do we do? What are we,
Yeah, I
what are
mean,
we giving
why would-
ourselves obligations?
Yeah. In my world, in the creative world, if you overcommit, you strain your creativity because you have to keep pumping out garbage. I would rather put myself in a position where I was free to do what I wanted to do, as opposed to issuing a token that entitles you to something that I may not want to do.
Or you want to do it
maybe-
now, but you don't want to do it forever.
I may not want to do it in 6 months.
Maybe we
right.
shouldn't pitch Tim our idea. Maybe we
Yes.
should.
All right. So forget it.
Yeah.
Scrap-
Never mind.
scrap
Duncan,
that.
What
never
was your
mind, never
idea?
mind. I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm on the same page as you, and also you have millions of fans that
we
at this
turn the
point.
cameras off. We turn it back on in 5 minutes. I'm like, my thinking's evolved.
You now. I don't know if you talk about how many listeners you have, but
We do.
okay. How many listeners on a weekly basis to
About
the pod?
1 million.
And then the Patreon is like the super fans.
About 40,000.
Okay.
For more than 40,000.
So you're like a full blown phenomenon at this point. Which,
Well, I don't know about that, but
Well, I would say you are.
It's a big show.
yeah. So
Yeah.
now everybody wants you to be involved in their shit. And
Yeah.
I think you're hilarious taking meetings, and the Substack meeting was hilarious.
Well, I'll take a meeting with.
So this is one of the best things about Tim Dillon is that he's a smart guy. He knows when people are trying to con him into some stuff, but then he's like, let me go waste these guys' time. So then he takes a bunch of these he calls them fake business or fake business meetings, and then he just like he just strings them along for fucking months. It wastes their complete time. he has ones where like he talks to a real estate agent, like he's gonna buy all these properties and stuff like that, and he's like, they get on the phone and he goes to watch properties. He goes to like, let's check it out. Let's check this one. I don't think this one's right. You know what? They're like right about to sign on the paper to buy the property. You know what? I've changed my mind. I want to look at the other property, and just keep stringing people along. He'll go on the phone with like scammers and just keep them there forever. It's shout out to Tim Dillon, fake business.
With anybody.
yeah.
I like meetings.
Yeah.
I like conference rooms. I like lunches. I like the process.
You like the pitch too.
I love the pitch. I love the process. I like to see you sweat. I remember doing that.
yes.
I have the leverage because I have enough money to live and I don't care.
Yes. So
and
now,
that's what's fun.
So now a lot of the things people are coming to you with, though, it's time consuming shit. And
Yeah.
you can't be funny and you can't be you. And you can't you need like hours to think of like, what's the next thing I want to do? If you're obligated all day and being pulled into meetings about things, and how can you be yourself? Like you get to a point where you just can't be yourself and please everybody at the same time.
Yeah, you got to safeguard, I think, your time.
Right.
And that's harder and harder to do as we do more and more stuff. And I am interested, right? I am interested, like, if there is a good way to do a project that benefits people, I'm all ears, but
Right.
it can't just be let's figure it out later. It can't just be let's pump something to 50,000 plus people.
Yeah.
And then later on, we'll figure out what it is. I want to figure out exactly what it would be. We've always tried, like, I've wanted to do experiences for a long time that were non-traditional for people, right? Like, we do this thing on my show called Fake Business, where we have our hoodies, our merch. It's all fake business because so much of what goes on is fake business.
It's the funniest thing I've ever
We
heard.
wanted to do a fake business convention, right?
Oh, my
Rent
God.
out a hotel, get a bunch of comics, get real trainers, sales trainers and shit, comics, fake things, have people not know what was going on, get tickets to events, seminars, funny stuff.
Yeah.
We wanted to do it, and I still do. If I could find a way to issue an NFT, or it pays for partially, or it allows you access to something like that.
Yes.
That's a really good idea. We've always thought about we thought about four-walling a restaurant on Long Island for 2 days, taking over the menu, the chef having it being like this weird comedy dining experience where the menu would be insane. We'd hire lunatics to work there. Like, it would be a really funny, going out in a Long Island restaurant,
what's the reason
everybody's
not to
got
do it?
Trump hats, you're screaming. Well, it's been COVID so far.
Oh, yeah.
But our idea was to basically let's take over.
And what he's talking about right here is exactly what kind of what the red pill lines are doing is he's trying to go that extra mile, and that's the tough part. Most people, when they launch these NFTs, it's a cash grab for them. Instead of it actually being something more of a, you have to make a time commitment, you have to do stuff for it, you have to provide value and stuff. And a lot of people, they just want to launch something on their community. Thanks for the money. Later, chumps. Here's a picture of a squirrel. And that's it, And he's legitimately talking about this. I mean, shout out to the Red Pill Lions. I mean, they're planning to do a whole celebration and stuff, rock band sort of thing, and they're planning that later this year. I mean, we're doing the crypto mindset events and stuff like that. We're providing value to the communities, networking events and stuff like that. Versus some of these other NFTs, just buy the NFT, buy the floor, buy my pudgy penguin, and what do I do with it? I don't know. So be careful.
Restaurant to give people a Long Island dining experience turned up to 11.
Yeah.
Like the depressed waitress complaining about diabetes.
Family style Italian. Just
Family style
troughs of
Italian,
pasta.
conspiracy, QAnon, crazy people complaining about the neighborhood changing. This experience that we've all had.
Can you smoke at the table? So
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Or maybe the waitress will be smoking when she approaches your table. We wanted to do crazy shit. I still do.
Yeah.
I still do. I'm still excited by when I was a comedian in New York, we rented a tour bus and I sold tickets to it. It was this massive show at the New York Comedy Festival. People bought tickets and I took them on this crazy tour of New York and said all the stuff that you couldn't say if you were a real tour guide. Because I was a tour guide in New York, and I would say those things, and I would get reprimanded every now and then.
Do you remember Tony and Tina's wedding?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do that. It's a dinner. You'll actually get food.
Yes,
but everyone in the restaurant, you don't know if they're real people or they're all of a sudden going to spontaneously set themselves on fire.
So that's the type of stuff that my interest in the NFT stuff is because I do have those ideas and I want to figure out an avenue to those ideas.
But dumb question, why can't you just sell a ticket for that?
You can, but I think that there's probably a better, more efficient way to fund something like that. To pay people, the whole thing's an operation, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is
basically it's more cost effective to sell NFTs to do these grand things versus if you just throw one big event with a ticket itself for it, the ticket becomes really expensive. So it's more of a community thing where the people that can make it go, and then it's kind of subsidized by the whole community, and you actually can have a lot of fun, and it's an incredible event. Versus if you try to do the whole event with just charging a ticket for it, it gets super expensive because you're funding all these things with ticket sales and stuff. So I kind of get where Tim Dillon's going here, and then you can keep doing more stuff. And then on top of that, NFTs, when they're sold back and forth in an open market, they also generate more money. And that gets put back into a DAO, and you can grow a DAO, and then you can keep doing more and more stuff and stuff. So I think the NFT route is the best way to do it and stuff, but it's just so many people are so fucking terrible at it. Not just on the implementation, on the launching of the NFTs and the arts and stuff like that, but then on top of that, they're bad at managing events, and then on top of that, they're you're almost an event coordinator / artists and stuff. So it's most artists are terrible at running businesses and stuff like that. This is why I think it's done, a lot of people have done very bad with it. But if you actually get that magical combination damn, it can be very, very cool. And then your NFT can be worth a lot of money, and then some of the holders can over time get liquidity and get their own cash. It becomes a really like cool kind of community in its own. Like, I would say no, let me not say it. So I don't get canceled. But anyway, I digress.
If people bought NFTs and then that money was used to create this event, everybody loved the idea of it. You could then sell your NFT to potentially a bigger fan who goes, no, I really want to go. Whatever it is.
You know what the problem is? You know what the problem is? I think you have to do this in Austin or California and bring Long Island to them. Because if you do this on Long Island, no matter how crazy the people you stack the room with, people won't get that it's a performance.
I don't think we'll do it on Long Island.
Yeah.
I think we would absolutely do it somewhere else.
We should export Long Island
to Alabama.
To other places, yeah.
Oh my God, that's the idea.
So my interest in that arena is like maybe there is a way to do it. You know, I could see comics funding a special going, I have the capital where I'll fund my own special. But I could see a comic going, okay, I have X amount of fans. They all buy this NFT. I use that money to fund my special taping. That NFT comes with tickets to the special.
Right.
Things like that I think
and
are really good.
Your fans want to own it.
100%.
Your fans don't want a ticket stub. They want a digital representation of the fact that they're your fan and they went to your
and I
event.
think, by the way, I think
that's a real thing.
With the NFT would come with more than just a ticket stub. You would get things
get
with
your
it.
alarm code to your house.
There'd be an alarm code to my home. There would be Joe Rogan's phone number.
Right.
There would be, but there'd be merch, maybe merch specific to the event.
It also helps amplify what you're trying to do. Nobody's taking a screenshot of their ticket and tweeting it.
Absolutely.
With the NFT, everyone's like, oh, me too.
No, the marketing is built in.
Right.
And this is what the NFTs are really big for too, as well. Is like, you see, I was like, watch this. I imagine this. Imagine if all this was like financialized. There's a ton of YouTube channels that I found that there were like 5,000, 2,000 subscribers, and I've seen them go to 1 million. There's been like countless times. How many times have you found like a really big band early on, and what did you get for it? Sure, you got to listen to music, cool, like, oh yeah, I was on that music, but then every other fucking, whoa, almost said the F word. Whoo, 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 I'm getting good at catching myself, you guys. These paninis. These paninis are like, oh yeah, man, it's so cool, man. I love that band, man. And you're like, Bill, I knew that band before you knew that band. But what did it get you? Nothing. But imagine if that was somehow financialized and stuff, and you had to wait like, oh, I'm an OG fan. I've been imagine like I've been listening to Metallica since the Garage Band days. No way, really? Look at that, dude. Holy fuck, that gets you like status and power and stuff. Or this is what people get, you know, and this is what people want, basically, right? Is to financialize that stuff. And there's people, I mean, it's sort of being able to like figure out talent. I've been able to I've honed the skill to figure out who's going to be popping and translated it into finding cryptos early. And that's made me a lot of money. But for a large time, imagine, like, I've been listening to Kanye West for a long time. Imagine if I was able to get a stake into Kanye West. And I'm not talking about these fucking financial NFTs for like their music and stuff, because it's not the artist. If the artist is really making a lot of money off this music and stuff, they're not going to give you that and shit. They're just not. Right? But it's just the sort of thing. Imagine if you like I was early on, like I was listening to Kanye West since like his first album. Imagine if I invested into him when I was in high school and in middle school and just kept investing. And then now look, all the albums he had. I mean, I probably would have cashed out during probably like if I'm Life of Pablo, I'm guessing. But if you look at like all that trajectory of how much money, like Jay-Z, same thing. Like imagine like even if like all these guys are big stars and then you keep like you invested in Beyonce early, where would you be at money wise? You could have actually rode the coattails and actually done that. This is stuff that's solved over time and just not yet. They haven't figured out the avenue for it, but it's coming.
Maybe merch specific to the event.
It also helps amplify what you're trying to do. Nobody's taking a screenshot of their ticket and tweeting it.
Absolutely.
With the NFT, everyone's like, oh, me too.
No, the marketing is built in.
Right.
All of that is built in.
They market for you.
Yeah, so that's why I am spending time with people trying to figure out how to do it.
You should totally buy a board. You should totally buy a board.
You're one of the biggest.
Listen, don't make me move the market. Bieber thinks he can move the market. I make it a gutter cat.
So when you look at like the daily ups and downs of the stock market, how close attention do you pay to like what people are investing in or what companies are saying?
I pay a decent amount of attention, but I don't. I'm not by any means any type of expert on anything. I look at it to know where things are going, so I can talk about it. I'm interested in culture and society
Yeah.
at large. I like characters.
Yes.
So Kathy Wood's funny.
Yes.
And Gary Vee are funny.
Yes.
I like big personalities. And then the entrance point into this stuff.
Both of
love
those
Richard.
two people should be on your show.
But I agree. My entrance point into, like, I love real estate, but my entrance point into real estate was these big realtors, people like Dolly Lenz in New York, these big personalities that would, have these crazy articles written about them in the New York Observer, and you'd read about them. And then from that, you would take an interest in the things they were selling. I feel a similar way about, like, I know more now about crypto and about Tesla and about all that stuff
From the personalities.
because I think Kathy Wood she's very funny, very mild-mannered, kind of Connecticut mom, but then she's like this really, like, forward-thinking, balls to the wall investor that will just risk it all. And there's something about that I respect, but she looks like a woman you'd see leaving church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And getting into a Toyota Camry.
In real life, one of the nicest people I've ever met.
I'm sure she's lovely.
I'm
sure she's lovely.
Yeah.
She's a fascinating character.
Yeah.
People like her, I listen to them. I like Peter Schiff.
Yeah.
I like that he lives in Puerto Rico because he feels that he's too taxed here.
Yeah.
I like that he has been, I think there's a great quote where it's, Peter Schiff has predicted 9 out of the last 2 recessions. Like, I love that every day is doom and gloom no matter what.
Yeah.
I love the commitment.
Peter and I have the polar opposite investment beliefs.
Yeah.
But the one thing I do respect about him is I think he actually lives what he says. Like moving to Puerto Rico.
Like he believes his own bullshit.
I really think he, and I think I believe what I think, but I think he really believes that disaster is lurking around every corner all the time. And it's just a matter of minutes.
So the personalities to me are fun.
Yeah.
And then from there, I get into more of because I love making money, but I don't love the multiplying of money. Like, I wouldn't be funny if I cared that much about.
That's how you cease to be funny.
Yeah, you just can't care that much about it. But then I will look at these characters in that world and I go, this is great.
You must love Kramer.
I like Kramer, but I got bored with Kramer. You get bored with people. And the reason I got bored, well, here's my favorite story about Kramer.
Kramer on your show would be amazing.
God.
I worked at a company called Accredited Home Lenders.
Oh, yeah.
They were
I remember.
a subprime mortgage bank, according to Jim Kramer, with a good portfolio that was not going to be in trouble. And literally, we were all watching Jim Kramer in my Long Island office in Westbury on fucking Corporate Drive, and we're watching Jim Kramer, and he's going, Accredited Home Lender is going to be okay. It's going to be okay because he goes, their balance sheet is great. It's a good company. They're and he does this whole thing, and we're all like, we go out, we're all smoking cigarette. We're like, this is going to be okay.
So these guys go like they're watching TV at the office. Jim Kramer saying we're A-okay. Woo, baby, let's crack out the cigars, champagne, baby. Shit, we made it, baby. Mad money, man. Jim Kramer said we're A-okay. But little did they know.
The next day, we get an email that says,
all the brokers are like,
yeah, we're going to be it's going to be okay. The next day, we get an email saying the company has ceased U.S. operations.
That's
Literally,
perfect.
not 20.
Hit a Pepe on that. The seal of death, you guys. So here we are at a shitty... an outstanding citizen in the real estate market. And I'm here with my chums here. You know, we're watching Jim Kramer like you're supposed to do. And he says our company's in great financial standing. So me and my lads, we go to the bar, maybe with some harlots, light up some cigars, some champagne and stuff like that. We have a late night. I don't go to sleep. It's okay. We're living large and stuff like that. Go to the office. Boss emails us. We're no longer operating in the United States anymore. God bless Jim Kramer.
I like Kramer, but I got bored with Kramer. You get bored with people. And the reason I got bored, well, here's my favorite story about Kramer.
Kramer on your show would be amazing.
God.
I worked at a company called Accredited home lenders.
Oh, yeah.
They were
I remember.
a subprime mortgage bank, according to Jim Kramer, with a good portfolio that was not going to be in trouble. And literally, we were all watching Jim Kramer in my Long Island office in Westbury on fucking Corporate Drive, and we're watching Jim Kramer, and he's going, a credit home lender is going to be okay. He's going to be okay because he goes, their balance sheet is great. It's a good company. They're and he does this whole thing, and we're all like, we go out, we're all smoking cigarettes. We're like, this is going to be okay. The next day, we get an email that says,
all the brokers are like,
yeah, we're going to be it's going to be okay. The next day, we get an email saying the company has ceased U.S. operations.
Nobody's
Literally,
perfect.
not 24 hours after Jim Kramer goes, they're good.
Yeah.
So right after that, immediately, I was just like, oh, I get it.
Well, listen.
I think part of it is like you're kind of like the Long Island medium, right? There's, like she's pretending to talk to dead people. A lot of these guys are pretending
It's
to have a
entertainment.
clue.
It's
entertainment.
It's ESPN for stocks.
It's not easy. Like, so here's what's weird about finance. When you watch the NFL pre-show,
Right.
and Terry Bradshaw, and they're all like picking the games. They're like, oh, I'm going with Mahomes. I say the Chiefs, and they go down and everybody says what they think is going to happen. That's it. Nobody calls them after and is like, I fucking lost my bet because of you. Right. I lost a 3-team parlay because. But for some reason, when somebody is talking about stocks or maybe real estate, it's like, oh, this person just gave me advice.
Well, also,
This is really, really important little topic they're talking about here. It's true. In our society, there's tons of people who watch people not just on YouTube but on TV or I would say like podcasts or blogs or whatever, and just blindly take the advice and stuff like that, and then it would end up they take losses and stuff, and then they don't really bitch or cry about it. But in the financial side, you end up getting really chastised for this and stuff. And I think it's a little bit unfair because it's the sort of thing where you have to do your own research and stuff. And at the end of the day, you're the one that pushes the green button. But I think there is a lot of people in this kind of like humans they really love not taking responsibility for what they end up doing. It's kind of insane and stuff like that. Shout out to the red pill men and stuff like that, But do your own research. Obviously, listen to his learn, hear what the elders say. But at the end of the day, you've got to make the decision at the end of the day.
Right.
But the stakes are much higher with stocks because people are betting $500 on the game, maybe.
Right.
With stocks, it's like their retirement money.
Right, but this idea that you sat in front of a TV or you listened to a podcast and somebody told you what to do with your money that you've never met before. Yeah.
Well, it goes back to the idea that you can't listen to a podcast and then be trusted to make a decision about your health, right? It's this idea, this 100%. Infantilizing of people where they're children who are easily led by whoever comes on TV or the internet.
It's kind of true.
Well, but
it is kind of true.
But here's the deal. How much are you going to destroy society by instituting rules to protect those people? Truly. Because you will destroy society. If you go around and you try to structure society with the idea that people have absolutely no common sense or, a self-agency, then you're going to restrict the freedoms of everyone.
You have to have a balance. There's this like famous thing on Wall Street that people bring up every once in a while. Apple's the most valuable company in the world. It's worth $3 trillion. In 1981, I guess, or whenever the IPO was supposed to be, the securities regulators in the state of Massachusetts forbid their people that live there from being in the IPO.
Wow.
Like we will not let Massachusetts residents buy the IPO of Apple. It was called Apple Computer Corp or whatever at the time. And just this idea that, like, not that people couldn't have bought it the next day when it was publicly traded, but just this idea of, like, you have to have rules and you have to have a modicum of protection.
Right.
And when big money's at stake, you probably need more protection when health is at stake. But, like, where does it stop?
Well, this is why it's complicated. It's because it's...
Yeah, the thing is if you put too many rules, you stifle innovation, but you don't have enough rules, you allow, like, fuck shit to happen. And the thing is like, the SEC is being notoriously bad at doing this. They don't protect anyone from anything. Damn near. I mean, like they're not putting any correct infrastructure there to like if you set the rules up nicely, then from there let them go. we'd have tons of innovation and stuff like that. But right now it's crazy. No one's building here in the United States because of the SEC, because they won't put any fucking clarity on anything and that. And then you have the CFTC, the Commodities Commission and stuff. Both the SEC and the commodities guys are fighting each other to have control over crypto and stuff. And right now, every day we're leaning more towards the commodity guys every day and stuff like that. It's just insane to me, like of just how stupid lawmakers are and stuff like that. And like, man, dude, it's. I think they put the right amount on technology early 2000s to now and stuff, and look at all the growth we got from technology growing, but then they didn't really. Now they're acting fucking crazy about like crypto and stuff, and it's a shame and stuff.
It's health. And so I don't think it's right, but I understand why people are upset, even if I don't agree with why they're upset.
People are going to be upset for a myriad of reasons all the time. And if you make policy based on how people feel, you're going to be changing policy constantly, and you're going to be getting, I think, it's going to seem like you don't have any values. Right. Like you're going to seem like you are being led by the dictates.
The loudest voice.
Yeah, you can't govern a city based on Twitter.
Yeah.
You can't govern a city. You can't institute a policy about the police because it's trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't, as a politician, want to get more retweets and favorites than protect people from crime.
But that's the game. That's the game right now.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but in the real world asserts itself. And if you saw the turnout of New Yorkers for the 2 dead NYPD officers, the turnout was unbelievable, bigger than any stupid holiday parade.
That's right.
Right? Like,
well, because people are realizing that this is not the course of action to take.
Yeah.
But it was such a persuasive marketing campaign on social media, defund the cops, this, that, and the other thing. Yeah. None of it accomplishes the goal of a more equitable and just society. Right. None of it gets there.
But a politician can get retweets.
But a politician can get retweets. They can get clout, for lack of a better word. They can become a favorite. People will start writing articles about them. They will go viral. They will build a personal brand off of slogans on Twitter. The policies are quite murderous. You know, I mean, they harm the people that they purport to help, and politicians don't care.
Well, this is the problem with the internet. It's like you're pandering to the mob, and the mob could unite faster than ever before.
And the mob is 4,000 people. The mob is not even the mob. The mob is a tiny fraction of people that have appointed themselves to be guardians of the public interest. That's what the mob is there. If you look at the sheer numbers of Twitter, I forget what it is, but it's 90% of content is, generated by 10% of the users. The vast majority of people, even on the app, don't care enough to generate that content.
Right.
But I care. But it's true, yeah. Damn near like 90% of all content's made by 10% of the content creators, and I would probably say I'm more on the 3% of that, on the top end there. It's insane. We just hit over 2,000 videos on the channel. Shout out to your boy. Sheesh. Millions of hours of watch time. Shout out to your boy, man. We're out here, man. Cracking 20K one of these days. Shit, I actually tell you the truth, I wouldn't be shocked to crack 20K by next week. On the way to 100K, baby. That's what I'm saying, man. But this is why it's being a taker instead of a producer versus a taker. If you're a creator, you are going to, I think, really win in life. And you're the business owner, the person that's providing value is going to have a better life than people who just want to take or want to be provided for. So it's that sort of thing and stuff. And you know what we really want in crypto at the end of the day? We just want, okay, what do I have to sign to make a crypto company? Cool. Can I take money from people? Yeah. The reason they're scared is because the SEC has put these arbitrary bullshit rules for accredited investors, and basically means what it says is regular people who watch YouTube and make $50,000 a year or make $100,000 a year are too retarded to figure out where they can put their money. It's okay for them to spend all their money on liquor and shit, or drugs, or cocaine, or whatever the fuck they spend their hookers or fucking OnlyFans. But investing money for their future, no. Don't do that. How dare you make your own fucking decision? All you have to do is this. These are the rules. Sign this. You make a company here in the United States. Boom, done. You can get a certain amount of money. Maybe we put limits on it and stuff. How much you can raise. Boom, boom, boom. Done. It can be family, friends, and then other people from your social networks. Done from there. And you do have to provide. You do have to work at the business and stuff. If you're not providing business, you can get in trouble and stuff. Just a couple of those arbitrary rules. Done, and let them go. Half of them, more than half, are going to fail. But this is regular business. And then what will happen is we'll get the amount of growth we're going to have in this industry in the United States and in most countries is insane. You do put a couple limits at the top end, but the thing is that they only want accredited investors to be able to make money, because basically we're only like what they're doing is that they are hoarding up all the opportunities. So basically what they're doing is like, oh no, if like the real reason is, oh fuck, if all these plebs could actually invest in this, like I'm not that much smarter than the plebs and stuff. If we let the plebs invest in the stuff we're investing into, we'll have competition. We won't be special anymore. It'll be harder for us to stay rich or be as rich because there's other people competing against us. So what we do is we put these licensing laws, or we put these fucking arbitrary rules right here so they cannot invest in these things. And then from there it's easier for us to stay rich and keep them down, subjugated. That's the real reason. Fuck the SEC.
This is a small amount of content. So when you see Sarandos and people like that, they're smart enough to realize this is the minority of a minority of a minority. I know trans people that didn't care at all. I know some of them that love Chappelle's special. I know some of them that said, I had no issue with the trans stuff, but I didn't think it was that funny. And then I know, obviously, because I'm plugged into the world, know people that were very upset about it. But it's not everybody. But the problem is the way it's presented is that it is.
Well, we could do this. I know you got other places to be. The media is laser focused on everything that happens on Twitter. So those 4,000 people in and of themselves may not be that many people, but then the amplification, because like what is the media doing with the news? Mostly like things that start on Twitter.
Well, it's like the media is like anybody else, right? They shipped a bunch of jobs in the 90s, manufacturing jobs out of the country. And, you know, the media is also losing work, right? The media is losing eyeballs. They're losing revenue streams every day. Like a lot of people that made money in the traditional media landscape are struggling. They're struggling to do it now. Right. You know?
And that's why you should join Substack.
Yeah, that's why I will join Substack.
You should be part of that revolution.
In fairness to him, the CEO of Substack, he got back to me and said, we do have a money offer.
After your podcast.
It's not to buy you, but we do have an interesting thing. So I'm going to talk to him again.
Right.
To buy our show, it costs a lot of money.
Right. Is this real business or fake business?
No, this is, well, we'll see. It's on him.
I didn't know they wanted to host podcast. They want to do video with you?
Yeah, they want to do it all.
And I'm going to speak to one more thing right here because I think the show's pretty much over. You take full screen me. So there's one thing I really want to talk about right here. Like, and we just had someone just say it right here. Like, Karin said, journalists in New York and Cali are addicted to Twitter, right? But that reminded me of something like journalists and a lot of guys in the white-collar industry were really making fun of blue-collar guys when the recession happened and when middle America got gutted out when they sent all the manufacturing from the 70s all the way to the 90s to China. And they were like, ha, 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 and then all these areas were addicted and stuff. No one gave a fuck about these people in the middle of America, the heartland and stuff. The Bible Belt and stuff like that. Well, now it's coming to them, and a lot of people on the right, the middle, and the middle parts of America and stuff are going to be laughing at them because there's a lot of people on the left, these technocrats, they're going to get rugged. They're going to start, the rugging's happening for a lot of the tech sector over here in the United States and worldwide. But a lot of these lefty fucks are going to get rugged and stuff. And a lot of people are going to laugh at them. And look, if you saw the Chappelle special, right? He made it's kind of a dark joke and stuff. Where basically the black community was addicted to crack or stuff because, shout out to Reagan who did that. But they got the African community on purpose addicted to crack. And then put all these racist laws and then started jailing them. And it's like, do better, just say no, right? And then white America started getting addicted to opioids and fentanyl and stuff like that. And then, Chappelle basically says, well, just say no. It's the same sort of thing. So you're going to start seeing a lot of people on the right and the middle and stuff of middle America starting to kind of laugh. Like a lot of the blue collar guys are going to start laughing at the white collar guys because they're about to get gutted. You can't, even with AI, you can't get rid of a lot of these physical jobs. So shout out to all my blue collar boys. They're going to start making millies, son, real millies. Nancy Reagan was talking to a fucking astrologist about what to do. Facts. Look it up. Weird history. Now, before we end this beautiful, beautiful show, man, I want to show you guys something, man. It wouldn't be correct and stuff if I didn't mention this Gary Gensler son of a bitch, man. Full screen me. Gary Gensler, deservingly so, got lambasted on Capitol Hill, man, and let's react to him just getting grilled. I think it's going to be really funny. Fuck Gary Gensler, man. Punk-ass bitch.
That will allow us to get through as many as possible, sir. From your perspective, is it more difficult now for the digital asset industry to access financial products and services in the United States than it was, say, 2 years ago?
So, is it easier 2 years ago to do stuff in finance, or have you made it harder in the past 2 years? The honorable, get the fuck out of here. Honorable Gary Gensler, loser.
Now, for the digital asset industry to access financial products and services in the United States than it was, say, 2 years ago?
Sir, I'm not running one of those businesses. If they came into compliance, I think
Reclaiming my time. The answer, sir, is yes. Do you think you and the SEC have had a role to play in that?
I think we have a role to protect the American investor and the capital markets. And
Reclaiming my time, sir. You have played an obvious role in that. During your tenure at the SEC, how many rules has the SEC finalized that actually accommodate the existing regulatory framework and are specifically to the digital asset industry so the crypto market can come into compliance?
It's our rule books that are on the books for years, so we have not finalized any new rule.
So basically, since he's been in office, he has done fucking nothing but filibuster and keep the crypto industry in this gray zone and stuff like that, and this stifled innovation. You even got Coinbase. Coinbase is now talking about relocating outside of the United States now. Our biggest crypto company on the equities market is talking about leaving. It's like Amazon saying we're going to moving all our headquarters, everything off of the United States. We're going straight to Europe, or we're going to China. Crazy.
Specifically with regard to crypto, we've proposed some things in best execution. We've also...
Sir, reclaiming my time, the answer is zero. And how many enforcement actions has the SEC levied against digital asset companies during your tenure, sir?
I think it's probably 40 or 50.
The answer, sir, is about 55. My understanding is that the biggest crypto failure in history is probably FTX at $9 billion. Were you the chairman of the SEC when FTX collapsed?
Yes.
And how many times did you meet with FTX prior to their collapse?
All the times. All of them, bros. He basically, Epstein Island, was visiting them. And, like, it's insane how much he was visiting them and stuff, and like hugging them and stuff. And a lot of people on both sides, man. What a clown.
Were you the chairman of the SEC when FTX collapsed?
Yes.
And how many times did you meet with FTX prior to their collapse?
I think my public record shows 2.
You met it with FTX at least twice. And arguably, the second biggest crypto failure in history was Terra Luna. Who was the chairman of the SEC when Terra Luna collapsed, sir?
We had brought...
You were, sir. Reclaiming my time, you were. There are 5 members on the commission. Do you believe your speeches and interviews are to serve as the official position of the SEC?
I can only speak for myself when I'm speaking.
Again, sir, in a statement on the SEC website, you are quoted saying, the Kraken staking as a service enforcement action should make clear to the marketplace that staking as a service providers must register. But again, you haven't provided any rules for how that can be done. I must remind you, your public statements are not regulations. It's not responsible to expect the American people to assume your statements are a substitute for rules. Do you agree with this statement regarding the digital asset industry? The SEC needs additional congressional authorities to prevent transactions, products, and platforms from falling between the regulatory cracks.
I think that it's a largely non-compliant field. And
Sir, again, I asked you to comply with my questions, and I'm asking you if you agree with that quote. And I'm going to tell you, I'm quoting you from an August 3rd, 2021 article where you, and I believe you told Congressman Hill earlier that you need congressional authority to regulate stablecoins, and stablecoins happen to be a significant percentage of the crypto market. So the question is, when were you telling the truth? To Mr. Hill or to me? You've got to start answering these questions in a more transparent manner, sir. Does it concern you, by the way, that your approach to the digital asset industry is actually driving this industry out of the United States?
Woo!
Trying to drive it to compliance, and if they're not compliant,
Driving to compliance. Get the fuck out of here. Just getting cock slapped. That's all he's doing right now. It is like what this man has done to this industry, and is it's insane. Like, now I will say one thing, like the FTX shit, totally on him. And honestly, he knew something was up already. Like and he said officially met 2 times. There's pictures of him. There's like he may have met like 4 times with those guys and stuff. And it's insane too. Like if you actually look, Gary Gensler, he got his job because Sam's father-in-law was basically the head of that, the head of what's called Stanford at the head of Stanford for the economist office, and he basically gave him his job. So the reason that he was at the head of I think Stanford in terms of the economics side of the school and stuff, and from there he got a job. So one of the reasons he even got the job is because he was put in the position of the head of the faculty or something like that. It's been if you go on my YouTube channel, we've gone through it. It's been a minute and stuff. Forgive me and stuff, but it's called FTX sex scandal. It's called the video and stuff. Me, Rolo, and Charlie reacted to all this stuff that was going on and stuff. It's literally insane. Like Gary Gensler got his job because of Sam and Sam's girlfriend's parents. This guy is a fucking clown. He deserves to be fired and literally put in jail. Scumbag fuck. Really. It's true. What's going on is a lot of congressmen are starting to realize, like, oh my God, we are literally destroying the next phase of the tech sector, and we're driving out innovation. It's insane. There's the only people in America who have any protections are just like miners, and there's only Bitcoin miners now. You can't even Ethereum mine anymore. So like even the mining industry is a dying industry.
Approach to the digital asset industry is actually driving this industry out of the United States?
we're trying to drive it to compliance, and if they're not complying with the laws, then they shouldn't be offering their products.
Reclaiming my time. Madam Chair, I would like to enter into the record this Wall Street Journal article from April 14th, 2023, detailing China's ploy to open its banking system to crypto firms in an effort to seize an opportunity created by our hostile regulatory environment, which, Mr. Chair, you're a big part of.
So what he just said right there was that thanks to Gary Gensler, we've now put the United States in such a terrible position in the crypto market. Instead of dominating it, we've now allowed a competitor of ours to put things in place to put America on the back foot. Do you know how serious that is? All cryptos are priced in dollars, but what's going on right now, instead of solidifying this entire industry, it's a U.S.-led industry, we've now allowed other entities to start buying up assets and bastardizing it to the point where we could not be not the leaders in it. We could end up being like followers or even subjugated by it and stuff, and they have to apply to Chinese rules or European rules instead of American rules for Americans. This is such it is like unbelievable the amount of damage this guy has done to America. It's insane.
Objection. Chair Gensler, FTX was domiciled abroad and so is Binance, yet American consumers still had access to both. You can't really think that pushing this industry abroad is going to protect American consumers when it hasn't several times in the past on your watch. You say the crypto market is rife with non-compliance. However, existing SEC rules make no sense for blockchain-based companies, and following them would actually kill these businesses. Your regulatory style lacks flexibility and nuance, and as a result, you've been an incompetent cop on the beat. doing nothing to protect everyday Americans and pushing American firms into the hands of the CCP. Your intention to work against SEC mission and put American investors in harm's way has been made very apparent, sir. It's been a year and a half since you've appeared before this committee. You need to answer to Congress about the issues that you've had with the SEC staff union, the work environment you've cultivated at the SEC that's led to hemorrhaging of senior staff, the intellectual inconsistency of your regulatory treatment towards Bitcoin spot ETFs, and your politicization of capital formation opportunities through your treatment of certain SPACs. And that's just to name a few.
Woo! Cooking with gasoline, ladies and gentlemen. Full screaming, man. Mr. Emmett, thank you for that. That was beautiful. That this man deserved to be roasted. He needs to be fired. He needs to be prosecuted, and he even needs to be put into jail. I'm telling you, if between two devils, the United States and China, you're better off with the United States. I'm telling you that. Do you want China? You want China light? And I'm telling you, it's two dirty shirts, but you will go with the cleanest. I'm telling you, he has pushed this industry more towards China and our enemies than anything else and stuff. This is bad. This is very, very bad. But if you want to protect yourself, share my screen for a second. Crypto Mindset Quarter 2 is coming out. And like, leave your best email address here. But if I'm being for real, meaning, like, take the course. We're going to show you ways to protect yourself against all the stuff that's going on, whether Gary Gensler, like, whatever ends up happening with that asshole. We are going to protect ourselves. We're going to protect our money. We're going to protect our purchasing power because of the positions they put us into. They're going to be every country, including China, is going to be printing trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of their currency. And this is going to cause inflation of assets. Because people who have money are going to move their money into assets because what are you going to do? Just hold it all in dollars and get inflated away? What are you, crazy? So get into the best asset class on this planet. Join Crypto Mindset Quarter 2. And with that, you guys, I'm out. Thank you. God bless. I'll see you guys here Thursday at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm streaming with Rollo Tomasi. And thank you so much, man. I hope I was able to help you guys out and teach you guys something. And later.